Well, hello everybody around the world. Eric Worrie here. We are here in the GoPro studios. Welcome to the GoPro World Tour. We're very, very excited to have you. We have an incredible 3-hour event prepared for you. And in a time when we can't get together face to face, we can still use technology to be able to get together. And it was so exciting to see in the 30 minutes leading up to this, the thousands upon thousands of people from virtually every country in the world saying hello. And while this, at least in the original live broadcast, is going to be in English, we know that there are many bilingual people, multiple language people around the world that are watching. We're excited to be able to have you. Network marketing is truly a global community. And in this time, during this pandemic, it's nice to be able to all get together and share some ideas on how we can all do better. Now, a couple things as we start. We've got a lot planned for you. But before we start, just know that we had over 78,000 people register to watch this live event. Now, at this moment, I don't know exactly how many people are watching, but this morning, the provider that hosts the streaming service crashed this morning, and luckily, they came back online in the last 60 minutes or so. So if, for some reason, your broadcast is interrupted, okay? Something happens and the picture freezes or whatever, and it's not just buffering, that we have backup plans to be able to stream it to other sources and be able to send it back to this page, the page that you're on right now. All you'll need to do is refresh your browser. So just refresh, and within about a minute or so, we'll be back up with a backup plan, okay? So that's our plan. It was very risky. Some of my friends who have hosted big events before, they said, "You're actually doing this live?" I said, "Yes." And they said, "Wow, that's really bold." I said, "Yeah, but you know what? What entrepreneurs do is they say yes to big ideas, and then they just handle it. And that's what we're going to do together. We're going to handle it." So we've got a lot of inspiration, a lot of information, a lot of training today over the course of these 3 hours. Really excited to be able to have you. I will tell you, let me just tell you some of the guests that are going to be here. Either, we have some of these are, you're going to hear from some people that from some previous events, some highlights from our previous events. Some people have a special message for you just for this broadcast. But you're going to hear from Harvey McKay, How to Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive. You're going to hear from Richard Branson, Sir Richard Branson, and the power of network marketing. And he even talks about why it's so great that so many women are involved in network marketing. Bob Proctor has a special message for you, literal living legend. Brendan Burchard, Marina Worrie. She's here in the studio. She's going to be coming up soon. Rich Dad, Poor Dad's Robert Kiyosaki, going to talk about entrepreneurship in today's world. Fraser Brooks on social media. He's got a great training segment lined up for you. 3 things you can do right now in order to be able to improve your social media game. And boy, don't we all need to improve our social media game right now. Mr. Les Brown, another living legend, has an incredible message for you. We're going to hear from the one and only Mr. Tony Robbins talking about, I've got a clip from a previous event that we did, and then he has a special message for you as well. And then Pete Vargas. And Pete, you might not know, but Pete is a presentation and storytelling expert. And he's going to teach you specifically how to tell your story in today's marketplace, in today's landscape, and to do it in a way that doesn't feel like you're being how to tell your story, how to be able to share what you have inside of our profession to the world, okay? So, wow. And about every hour or so, we'll take a 3-minute break So you can go to the bathroom or get a drink or whatever you need to do. But let me start by saying, if you don't know who I am, some of you might know me from GoPro. This book came out several years ago. It's sold over 3 million copies around the world. 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. If you haven't read the book, I hope you do. If you or listen to the audiobook, either one. But what I've been doing full-time for the last 11 years is helping the network marketing profession, supporting the network marketing profession, providing training to the network marketing profession. And I love this profession. I was, to tell you a little bit about my story as we start, just so you have some context, is I started off in network marketing in 1988. And at that time, I was 23 years old. I had barely escaped high school. I was C- student in high school, barely graduated. And I counted it up one time. I had 18 jobs by the time I was 23 years old. And I was a little bit desperate. I was a little bit afraid of what was my future going to be, what was my life going to be if something didn't turn around, because I had a bunch of dead-end jobs and minimum wage jobs, and I didn't really see a future. And good fortune came my way in the way of one of my mentors. And one of my mentors was a best friend of my father. His name was John Joyce. And John, I worked for John and my father, the last job I had before I got involved in network marketing. And John was one of those guys who believed in me more than I believed in myself. He was the first person outside of my family that said, you know what, that kid's going to do something. Yeah, he was always reaffirming his belief in me to me, and he was reaffirming it to other people. And I always heard him saying good things about me, and it filled me up with hope. And one day he came to me and said, Eric, I think I have a way for us to make some extra money. And he invited me to go to his friend Charlie's house. We got in the car with my father and John, and we drove to Charlie's house, and I saw my very first network marketing presentation. And originally, now mind you, I'm broke. 2 out of the 3 other people in the room are millionaires. I'm broke. And my mental filters just couldn't let it in. I don't know about you. The first time you were introduced to network marketing, it just seemed too good to be true. It just seemed like it made it look so easy, and everybody's making all this money and all this stuff. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not interested. No thanks, I'm good. And they said, that's fine, Eric, you can wait in the car. And I was like, wow, okay. What happens if they succeed and I don't get involved and I have to watch them succeed every single day? That's going to just be the worst thing in the world. So I swallowed my pride. I pulled my dad aside. I asked him for a loan, and I got involved in this network marketing profession. And it was a day that changed my life. There's many days inside of this network marketing experience that changed my life. I don't know where we find you today. I don't know if you're ready to change your life or not. I don't know if you're ready for a new evolution of you or not. But I've got to tell you, that day changed my life. And if you're ready to make a decision, network marketing can help you change your life too. I'd love to tell you, I got involved, I got started, and I'd love to tell you my first several years were just automatic success, but they weren't. I struggled. I really struggled for my first 3.5 years inside of network marketing. I build and rebuild, and I'd bring people in and they'd quit, and I'd bring people in and they wouldn't do anything, and I'd replace those with other people, and I just kept going and kept going, making just enough money to be able to pay the minimum on my bills, and I hadn't really figured it out. And 3 things happened for me, and it can happen for you. One is I made a decision. I remember that like it was yesterday. I was sitting in an event and watching all these people walk across the stage, and I just made a decision. What if I decide to become a professional? What if I let go of trying to get lucky? What if I let go of being in the right place at the right time? And I just decide to become an expert here. So I made the decision, and now I got to tell you, I thought I had made the decision many times in my first 3.5 years, but I didn't really. There was things that could knock me out. There was things that could sidetrack me, things that could discourage me, things that could immobilize me. But once I really made the decision, it was like an audible snap in my head. I made the decision. I went, you know what? I'm going to do this. And my dominating emotion for my first 3.5 years was fear. And in that one instant of making a decision, my fear left my body. And I just said, I've got this. I don't know when I'm going to get to the top, but I'm going to get to the top. I don't know how exactly I'm going to get to the top, but I'm going to get to the top. And getting to the top for me was constituted on two basic actions. Action number one was I decided to master the 7 fundamental skills inside of network marketing. I decided I was going to master them. I was going to become a world-class expert at the 7 fundamental skills, which I'm going to share with you over the course of these 3 hours we're going to spend together. And I did. I did. And number 2, I decided that however I needed to do it, I was going to get the coaching necessary to move faster into my success than if I didn't have the coach. I was going to find the mentors inside of network marketing. I was going to find the coaches in or outside of network marketing. I was going to literally search out the coaches necessary for me to be able to have the life that I wanted. Because, look, you know what I've realized over the course of my life? Time machines exist. You see these movies about time machines when people go into the future? Well, here's what I'm here to tell you is time machines are real. Now, here's how the real time machine works. Some of you move into the future and you're the same age. If you go into a time machine in a movie, you move into the future, walk around in the future, move into the past, walk around in the past. Here's how the real time machine works in real life. I can show you how to be 1 year smarter without being 1 year older. Would that be worthwhile? I could show you how to become 5 years smarter and not be 5 years older. That'd be pretty neat, right? Well, here's how it worked for me and how it can work for you. I got coaches on everything. Because here's what a coach does. Here I am on this day. A coach comes into my life who's spent an enormous amount of time already learning what I would want to learn. And that coach teaches me what it took them a year to learn, teaches me that in a week. Now I'm not a year older, but I'm a year smarter. What's the most valuable thing in the world? Time. Time is the most, you can get more money, you can't get more time. So how'd you like to just get smarter and smarter and smarter without getting older and older and older? That was my secret. Combination of becoming amazing at skills and getting the coaching that was necessary so I saved time and I was able to move forward, okay? So that's what happened to me. It can happen to you. And that's just a little bit of a setup, and we're going to get into some training. But before we do that, I want to tell you about a friend of mine, Sir Richard Branson. And Sir Richard Branson, he's this amazing character, built these Virgin brands around the world, and he's just a beacon of light, and he's probably the most iconic on
Screw it, just get on and do it and have a blast. He doesn't know how to dress, does he?
I know, I didn't know where to go with this.
Hang on a minute. What have I got in my pocket? They're not very big, but they're big enough, I think. entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is somebody who thinks that they have an idea that can improve other people's lives, and then says, you know, screw it, I'm going to do it, and gets on and does it. You need to surround yourself with brilliant people, and a good entrepreneur tries to find better people than themselves. Being an entrepreneur need not be lonely if you are the kind of person that embraces the team of people around you. I think it's fantastic that 80% of network marketers are women, and network marketing gives so many women the chance to have a family, work from home, make some extra money on the side. All of you are making a real difference to so many women's lives all over the world. In the end, I think the product that you're selling speaks for itself, and I think word of mouth is absolutely key.
You know, you may well fall flat in your face, but then pick yourself up, keep trying until you succeed.
So, Sir Richard Branson talking positively about our network marketing profession. And one thing I have to tell you, because we're live here, there's so many people pounding the comments that it's slowing up people's feed, and people are saying it's freezing up and it's buffering. If you disable the comments on the side of the video that you're watching right now, it will help the video feed flow more smoothly on your end, okay? So you may want to find that button and disable the chat roll, okay? The comment feed, okay? Now, I want to talk to you about what's going on inside of network marketing before we get into a little bit of training. What's going on inside of network marketing is, I got to tell you, a month ago, I was concerned because I expected that no matter, network marketing does good in down economies. Network marketing does good when the general economy does bad. In recessions, we do good. People are looking for money. They're looking to be resourceful. I was concerned because to be creative, and they're open to new ideas, right? So I expected, as optimistic as I am, and I'm as optimistic as you can imagine, I expected a lot of people were going to put their head in the sand, watch the news all day, be concerned, or sit there and wait for this to be over. And it was going to hurt network marketing productivity. But guess what? It hasn't. It hasn't hurt network marketing productivity. To the contrary, virtually every company around the world is reporting record sales, record recruiting, record growth, record rank advancements in the last 30 days, and it's just accelerating. It's just amazing. Now, I think there's several reasons for this. One is people still want to be able to purchase valuable products for themselves and for their families. That's number one. So that's not slowing things down because we drop ship everything to the world. We don't have brick and mortar. We drop ship everything around the world. It's the reason why Amazon's not hurting. Same thing's true with network marketing. We're not hurting when it comes to the products. Number two, now more than ever before, people are realizing that if they don't have a way to work from home, they're putting their family at risk. Network marketing provides the most responsible way for the average person to be able to work from home and to develop an income using some sweat equity and connecting and partnering with a company with products that they believe in. Where else for a few $100s can you get involved, start a business, immediately get the tax benefits of that business, and then use word of mouth advertising, using social media, using technology like we're using right now, educate people as to what it is that you have. So second thing is, number one reason is people still are wanting to buy these products. They're wanting to be able to take care of their families. They're not slowing down on purchasing. They're just slowing it down on where they're purchasing. Number two, people are very open to a work from home option. And what I tell people is you don't have to say yes to network marketing, but you need to make a list of all the different work from home options that are available, and network marketing needs to be on the list. You need to at least learn about it. Learn a little bit more about it, and maybe your idea of it is a little old-fashioned. So learn about it, and whatever you decide, just take the opportunity to really protect your family, because you could sit back and you could wait for the government to take care of you. You could wait for the traditional jobs to come back. And I'm sure the government's going to do a great job of taking care of people. And I'm sure that jobs are going to come back. But what if it takes a while? Or what if it's different than what it was before? Regardless of what you choose, you need to have one form or another of the ability to work from home. And network marketing provides the most responsible ability to be able to do that. So one is the products are selling. Two is people are open for work from home opportunities. And three, remember when a day used to just be a day? A day was a day. And then it was tomorrow, and that day was a day. Now every day is like a week and a half. I mean, think about how long March felt. And what's happening with people inside of network marketing, they're so productive now. And honestly, a lot of people in network marketing were kind of lazy. They were kind of, kicking back, letting their business work for them. But they decided they got nothing else to do. They decided to go to work. And they got really active. And they started having more conversations with people. And from those conversations, more people were taking a look at their products and more people were taking a look at their opportunity. So it's like, okay, the amount that people are getting done. I mean, I think the month of April, there's some companies that could be 100% up month over month because of how much productivity is happening inside of the network marketing space. It's amazing what's happening, okay? So feel good about that. Everybody we shouldn't live in fear. We should take the precautions. You should wash your hands. You should, isolate from any risk situations, especially if you're immune compromised. Do all the responsible things that we're being told to do. But at the same time, while you're at home, don't sit there on vacation. Use that time to be able to build a financial wall around your family that nothing can get through. Network marketing can help the average person do that better than any other form of entrepreneurship. The most responsible, the least amount of startup costs, the most amount of support, the most amount of training, right? You'd make the commitment to make a decision, learn the skills, get some coaching, and be a year smarter without being a year older, then I think you're going to be in great shape, okay? So I want to introduce you to one of my friends. He is a literal living legend. If you ever saw the movie The Secret, you know who Bob Proctor is. Sorry, we're going to go, well, can we go to Bob next? Yes. Okay, Bob's ready. We're going to go to Bob Proctor next. Bob is in Arizona. He's just an absolute genius, and he's got a message to share with all of you today. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Proctor.
Hello and welcome. I'm Bob Proctor, the chairman of the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And it's a real pleasure for me to be able to take part in this GoPro World Tour that Eric Worre is putting on. And you deserve to be congratulated, Eric, for doing this, especially at this time. Sandy Varvel, Eric's executive producer, had contacted me and explained what Eric was doing, and he had asked if I would like to participate. Well, the world is going through such an enormous transition right now. And you'll often hear people say, one person can't change the world. But I'm going to tell you something. One person changed my world 59 years ago. It was in 1961, a man gave me this book, Think and Grow Rich. And he said, Bob, if you'll do exactly what I tell you and follow the principles that are laid out in this book, he said, you can have anything you want. Now, I'm going to be very honest, I did not believe that. I was unhappy, I was sick, I was broke. I mean, I was going in the wrong direction. That man literally changed the course of my life. Well, you know, there's a lot of people mentally that are in the space that I was in October 1961. And I believe you are in the position as a network marketer to help them change the situation they're in. You know, Wallace Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich, on chapter 7, on the very first page, he said the entire process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. Every morning I sit down and I write out 10 things I'm grateful for. I do it without fail every morning. That started a long time ago. You know, that day in October 1961 is a day that I'll never forget because it literally changed my life. We know that the world is going through a change right now. It's a phenomenal change. And there's a lot of people that are wandering around in the mental state that I was in back in 1961. I was scared. I was lost. My whole focus was on myself. That's all I could think about. And Ray Stanford changed that. Now, I've been in this business, as I say, for 59 years. I am frequently asked, Bob, if you were starting over, what would you do? Like that. I give them the same answer every time. I would join a network marketing company. Because I really believe the network marketing industry has done more for the world than any other single industry. It will help anyone become an entrepreneur. It will help anyone fulfill their dreams that will follow the rules that are laid down very clearly by everyone that has ever won in network marketing. Napoleon Hill lays them down in Think and Grow Rich. Well, I want to suggest that you're in a position today to help a lot of people. You may be wondering, how are you going to fare out of this whole thing? You're going to do fine if you form the attitude, I'm here now to serve. I'm here now to help, because you've got a phenomenal opportunity. There's all kinds of people losing their work. They're losing their jobs. They're scared. They don't know what to do. I believe you're in the position to help them. Network marketing is without question one of the most incredible concepts that ever come down the pike. Anyone with a little bit of ink and a couple of dollars like that, and they're in business for themselves. It's a phenomenal opportunity. Think of this for a moment. If we let the sand in this glass represent our life, the sand in the top of the glass represents the future. You know, if you just hold my book up there, you don't know how much sand you have left in the top of the glass. We do know what's in the bottom. That's the past. It's gone. When I was a little kid, my grandmother used to always be saying, I'll soon be gone, dear, I'll soon be gone. Well, you know, it got to a point where we thought Grandma was never going to go. Grandma thought she only had a little bit of sand in the top of the glass. Turned out she actually had a lot. She would have been around 60 when I remember starting to hear that. Grandma didn't leave us till she was 94, and the angels just came and took her away one night. She thought she had a little, she had a lot. Now, I jumped around with another young guy named Bob Yates when I was 16 years old. If you had asked Bob how much time he had left, he'd say at least a half a century. Bob didn't have a half an hour. He was coming in the Kingston Road Highway in Toronto in his panel truck, hit the abutment of a bridge, and his life was snuffed out. See, we really don't know how much time we have left, but we do know where we are right now. That's all we've got. That's all we can count on is right here, right now. If you will make up your mind that you're going to do the best you can do right now, help as many people as you can. It's not hard to find somebody that's looking for help. The vast majority of the world is scared. They are really afraid. They're looking for direction. They're looking for an opportunity. You've got one to give them. I would recommend anybody go into network marketing. It's such a phenomenal concept. You can become financially independent. I know so many people who are worth millions of dollars today that started with nothing. But someone, the same as Ray Stanford sat down with me with this book, someone came and gave them the opportunity. I want to suggest you do that. You make up your mind right now that you're going to do what you know you can do. Do it one at a time, right now. One person can change the world. One person changed my world. I want to congratulate Eric on what he's doing, and I want to congratulate you on what you're doing. I believe network marketing is the most phenomenal profession that you're going to find. And I'm glad that I work around so many network marketers. This is Bob Proctor, and thank you.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you, my friend. And ladies and gentlemen, we all do have a gift, and we all have found ourselves, for whatever reason. Who would have thought that you as entrepreneurs would have been the visionary people who had positioned yourself to be able to survive and thrive in these difficult times for most people? I live in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas has something in the neighborhood of 50% unemployment, 50%. They can't even process the number of people that are applying for unemployment benefits inside of Las Vegas. People are out there, they're looking, they're searching, and I agree with what Bob says. You need to have an attitude of service. If you go in this to help people, intention matters. If your intention is to help people, things are going to be great. If your intention is to take advantage, you're going to flame out in this profession anyway. The thing about our business is you can't win by taking advantage of people. Can't do it. That ability has been taken out of the model. The only way you can win is by helping people. It's the only way. So your paycheck is a reflection of the number of people you're actually helping in the world when it comes to your products and your opportunity. So we want to give you the information to grow your paycheck, right? Grow your influence, grow your contribution in the world. So I train and I work and I train around the world. I've coached millions of people, literally and no joke, how to become network marketing professionals. And I want to give you some guidance and some training on that before I introduce you to some others of my friends that are going to be part of this broadcast. But everybody wants to know, tell me what to do, tell me what to say in order to be able to be a network marketing professional. And I will do that. And I will give you some information today. And we'll introduce you to some resources today that will guide you on your journey to become a network marketing professional. However, what to do and what to say is not the most important. You know what the most important is? How to think. You need to change the way you think if you want to become a network marketing professional. You must change the way you think. And people are like, well, what are you talking about? And let me describe what I'm talking about, because just like a computer, our mind has been programmed since we were 2 years old. And for most of you, you've been programmed to act more like an employee than an entrepreneur. You're like, well, what are you talking about? Here's what I'm talking about. Think about it. As you're growing up, it was brush your teeth or what? There's going to be consequences. Finish your vegetables or there's going to be consequences. Stop hitting your sister or there's going to be consequences, right? Go to bed, it's bedtime, or there's going to be consequences. There's always consequences built in, and we were slowly taught to live in the box of the expectations of others. We were slowly taught to stay inside the lines of whatever that expectation that somebody else had of us. We were reacting to somebody else telling us what to do and how to think and what to say. And then we go into the educational system. Does the educational system reward innovation? Does it reward taking risks? Does it reward making mistakes? Nope. Punishes all those things. It says, be here on time or you're going to be tardy, and it's going to have consequences, right? Don't talk in class or there's going to be consequences. Study for the test or there's going to be consequences. Get a good grade or there's going to be consequences. It's going to go on your permanent record. Remember when they used to tell you that? It's going to go on your permanent record. I still don't even know what my permanent record is. But they was always talking about, it's going to go on your permanent record. Fine, right? But anyway, it taught people to fit inside the system, to do as they're told, to act like an employee. It's an employee farm, is what this situation is. So, growing up, education, and then we go get a job. And then we're reinforced. We know how to respond inside of this environment now. We know how to do as we're told. Oh, what time do we show up for work? What time is there a break? What time, what skills am I supposed to learn? How am I supposed to function inside of this office? So if you were in the military, that's on steroids. It's even more as far as do as you're told or there's consequences. And then some of us get involved in this network marketing venture. And we're still thinking like employees. And I've got to tell you, as long as you think like an employee and you don't think like an entrepreneur, you're not going to get good results inside of your network marketing experience. You're just not. You're just not. You need to change the way you think. And I'll give you an example. And it's literally two sides of a coin. Employee, entrepreneur. Employee, it's almost whatever you've been thinking up until now, it's almost the opposite in virtually every case. I'll give you an example. I travel around the world, I speak around the world, and now we're on this GoPro World Tour talking to you around the world. And I ask people, when I bring up the word work, what comes to mind? And think about this, when I bring up the word work, if I brought up the word work to you, what comes to mind? For most people, the answer is pain, obligation, traffic, stress, something you have to do. You don't bring up many joyful words. It's the reason why people want to retire from work. They want to get away from work. Thank God it's Friday because tomorrow I don't have to work. Oh my gosh, it's Sunday. Tomorrow I have to go back to work. Now some people are hoping that they can get back to work right now, right? But think about the way most people think about work. It's something that they're trying to get away from, to get behind them, to get over with, to be done with. Network marketing entrepreneur doesn't think that way. Entrepreneurs in period don't think that way. They think of work as passion, as contribution, as creation, as their purpose, as how they are bringing value to the world. So why would they want to get away from work? An entrepreneur rests only long enough to get back to work because that's about contribution is what brings them joy. So long as you're trying to get away from work inside of network marketing, you're gonna find an excuse. You're gonna find a reason to get away from work, right? But if you change your mindset, like I can't think about retirement. It doesn't even make sense to me. Retirement? Why would I retire from my passion? Why would I retire from contribution and joy and purpose, doing what I love? Why would I do that? Doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. So you got to change the way you think about work. You got to change the way you think about making mistakes. As a child or as a student or as an employee, if you make mistakes, it can be devastating. Entrepreneurs make mistakes every single day. That's how they learn. Entrepreneurs say, I never lose. I either win or I learn. That's what entrepreneurs do. So it's different. So if you're worried about being embarrassed all the time and not having a perfect answer, Same thing with support. Employees expect support. They demand support. Entrepreneurs are the support. They create the support. They manufacture the support, whatever they got to do. Risk. Employees will give you 2 weeks. Employee-minded person will give you 2 weeks, and they'll say, well, where's my results? Where's my results? Entrepreneurs are willing to give a lot of time where they're underpaid, and a short period of time where they're fairly paid, and then a long period of time where they're overpaid. Are you an entrepreneur in your mind, or are you an employee? And you can make the switch. It's literally the opposite. You can retrain your mind. Network marketing will help you do that. But if you're aware of it now, it can be a big step in the right direction. So, another of my friends is Mr. Brendon Burchard, great guy, author, speaker. He was at one of our events recently, and he had a great short talk that I wanted to share with you. So check out my friend, Mr. Brendon Burchard.
Please listen. You must find something to fight for. You got to find somebody to fight for. You won't fight for yourself. You fight for somebody else. Let that drive hit your heart. You find somebody. Somebody needs you to go to the next level. Somebody needs you to make that next call. Somebody needs you to get that next check, whether you feel like compelled to do it or not. Somebody out in that world needs you to be here, to be fully present, to learn, to put it into place. Because if you'll do it for them, you'll change yourself and you'll reach the best of who you are. And sometimes you need someone to fight for, somebody who is there, who's pulling you. You got to find somebody or something to fight for, to lift you out of bed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even when you don't want to do it. Here's the ultimate challenge. For those of you who are here, you're already good. You're already good. You're probably the ones in your family who are a little bit more crazy than everybody else, who tried a little bit harder or believed in your dreams just a little bit more, even though they said you're crazy, you kept going for it. You're probably that person who studied more personal development than your friends or your family. You're probably that person who's already into education. It's one reason you're here, because you know the transformation that can happen right here. You're probably already a little bit of that person who's got fire and will inside. You've got a little bit of that. The issue is your story sometimes goes like this, and you're looking for that. I've been there. I'm so struggling, like I'm doing everything right. You know, I'm learning, I'm trying, I'm making the calls. I'm sending the emails, making the videos, shaking the hands, following the dream, having the hope, doing my gratitude journal every night. Thankful, joyous, doing everything I can, but I wasn't breaking through it. It was driving me crazy. When you leave this event in a few days, when you walk out that door and you walk out these doors, remember, seek clarity, generate energy, raise necessity, increase your productivity, develop influence by challenging people to be better versions of themselves, and step into the unknown and just listen. Be with it. Listen through the fear. Do that, my friends, and not only will you lead yourselves, you lead your teams, you lead this industry. You got to have the necessity inside that says, I want to be excellent at this. And if you got that inside, then tell you what, wake up on Monday, my friends, and when you do walk out these doors, and you walk out the doors of your homes and organizations for the rest of your lives, do me a favor and go earn this. Go pro.
Brendon Burchard, my friend. Hope you're getting value from all of this. It's really fun for all of us to put this together. This is in our home. Can you believe this? We have this studio set up in our house. We got all this cool stuff in order to be able to share with you. We're going to be doing a lot of different broadcasts here in our home to share with you around the world. Excited about all that. And man, I mean, we're 44 minutes into a 3-hour experience, and I hope you're getting value. I hope you're filling up your notes. I want to give you one more thought when it comes to mindset before we start focusing on skills. And the thought is this. Let go of being perfect. Let go of perfection. Let go of having all the answers. Let go of looking good. It's very difficult to get better and look good at the same time. One of the things that worked for me, and I think can work for you, is to be willing to be messy while you're becoming a network marketing professional. To be willing to put yourself in potentially embarrassing situations and just handle it, not treat yourself so seriously. Just roll with it. I mean, if somebody throws you a question you don't have the answer to, just say, well, you know what? I don't know the answer to that, but let's go figure it out together. Oh, I guess I made a mistake there. Okay. It's not devastating. In school, a mistake is devastating. In your job, a mistake is devastating. You could get fired. But here, a mistake is a way for you to be able to learn. And just let go of analyzing everything and being paralyzed by needing to have the answer to every single question. And all you perfectionists out there, be willing to be maybe possibly embarrassed while you figure this out. And you will move forward faster. You will have more success faster than the person who waits until it's perfect. Write this into your notes, please. Progress is perfection. You want to get a little bit better every single day. You want to get a little bit better every single day. Now, I got to show you something, and I want to show you our cool board here. Can you bring this up for me? So, I was introduced to, one of my mentors asked me, he said, Eric, can you improve 0.3% per day? Can you improve 0.3% per day? I was like, yeah, I think I could probably do that. It's not that much. If I read a couple pages of a good book, or if I smile one more time, or if I discipline my disappointment, or if I learn one new skill or phrase or something, shouldn't be hard to get 0.3% better a day. He said, Eric, that's 100% in 1 year. You can get 100% better in 1 year. I'm like, all right, 100% better. At that time, I'm making about $10 an hour. So $10 an hour, I can go from $10 an hour to $20 an hour in how valuable I am in the marketplace in 1 year by getting 0.3% better every single day. I'm like, okay. He said, Eric, it doesn't stop there. It keeps compounding. If you keep on the discipline, it'll keep compounding. If you're willing to understand that most of the learning is in the doing, not just in the study, but in the doing, then you're going to get better. So in year 2, it's 200%, which would take me to about $40 an hour. In year 3, it'd be 400%. In year 4, 800%. In year 5, 1,600%. In year 6, 3,200%. In year 7, 6,400%. Now, why do I go to year 7 and 6,400%? Because in year 7, I earned $980,000 in network marketing as a distributor. In year 7. Starting here. And if you take an income, I mean, I'm probably being generous. Let me do this. Isn't my screen cool? It's so cool. I was probably really a $5 an hour person. And if you take a $5 an hour person, you can kind of double that. It's about $10,000 in a year that a person makes. So in year 1, $10, that takes me to about $20,000 a year. $20, $40 an hour, $80 an hour, $160 an hour, $320 an hour. And this would be what? $640 an hour, something like that? So $640 an hour, it's not exactly $980,000, but it's pretty close. Pretty close. So I leaned into network marketing And it was the grinding wheel of my life. The grinding wheel, I was the lumpy piece of metal, and I leaned into it, and I just started working 1% a day, 0.5% a day, 2%. I got a 2% day. I learned this new thing. I learned this new phrase. I learned this new approach. And I get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better every single day. And that's what turned into success for me. It can turn into success for you if you'll lean into it, okay? Lean into it, and good things are going to happen. All right, so we're going to come back and talk about skills in a moment, but I have my friend Harvey McKay, who Harvey's another living legend. He's a dear friend. He's one of the greatest natural networkers I know on earth. He can kick my butt in golf. He's 87 years old, and he can destroy me on the golf course. He's just a gem, and he'll teach you how to do the most important thing in the world to do right now, today, in this marketplace, which is build relationships, build connection. So, Harvey McKay, take it away.
Yo, Eric, nice to be with you. I'm excited. I've been looking doubly forward to these few minutes with you, and always enjoy being with you. I'll tell you one thing. These times, no one is immune to these crazy, as you know, virus times. However, I think my father had the answer, and I'd like to share it with all of our viewers. I think this is one answer that'll help them get by day and week by week. My father, head of the Associated Press, terrific writer, 35 years. He taught me, used it all my life. He could take any amount of pain as long as he knew it was going to end. And so this is going to end. Very, very important. And you know, tough times, Eric, they don't last. Tough people do. I've had both of these signs, one more sign, quite frankly, back in Minneapolis at my office. And it said the following, and this has gotten me through to my philosophy in life. And that is, if I had to name the single characteristic, all right, that's shared by all the successful people that I've met over a lifetime, I would say it's the ability to create and nurture a network of relationships. That's really taken me, that philosophy, through my entire life. And let me say another thing. You can take all my money, Eric, take all my factories, take all my plant, take all my employees from me, but leave me my network of relationships. And trust me, I'll be back to where I was today in 3 to 5 years. Incidentally, fascinating study that came out by Harvard University, hold on to your seat, 75 years ago. They interviewed 700 people for 75 years. They tested them. What did they try to find out in that study? What is the longevity? What's the probability that you can live longer and happier? And here are the results down to one single sentence. If you have a deep down burning desire, all right, to have relationships with friends, not family, with friends, then the probability that you will get cancer, the probability you'll have heart disease, Parkinson's, all of them, goes way down. What a remarkable study. And the bottom line is stay connected. Very, very important. And again, that relationship, you have to be all in when you're staying connected. If you're not all in, then you don't have a chance. You have to go deep in those relationships. Difference between 100% all in and 99% all in is 100%. So very, very important. Anyway, my father, he got a hold of me age 18. Harvey, every person you meet the rest of your life goes into a Rolodex file, assuming you want to keep in touch with that person, a little bit on the back of the card. Of course, it's a computer today. And then here's the key. Here's the real key. Find a creative, underline creative way to keep in touch. That's what I've been doing all of my life. A real good example. I write Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive many, many years ago. I want to be published. I have a New York publisher, one of the best in the world. Now, CEO summit meeting, CEO, President, VP National Sales. You must remember, years ago, if you're an unknown, first-time, all right, author, and I was from the flyover state of Minnesota. They print 10,000 hardcover books. 35 minutes into the meeting, I asked for the order. And I say to them, I would like you to seriously consider printing 100,000 hardcover books. Swim with the Sharks. And now I'm on the 37th floor. They told me to jump. But I'm in the conference room, in the boardroom, underneath the table. I pull out 2 humongous briefcases. Then I pull out 2 huge Rolodex files, 6,500 names ever since I was 18 years of age. Pillsbury, General Mills, 3M, Honeywell, just to name a few. Customers we do business with. Maybe they'll read the book. Maybe they'll pass it along. Maybe it'll be a New York Times bestseller. And I also did the same thing with my second Rolodex, which also, of course, was countries that we're doing business with. Maybe it'll be an international bestseller. So I was very, very, of course, proud of that. Now, lastly, I wrote a book called Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty, subtitled The Only Networking Book You'll Ever Need. And that wound up in 200 universities. And of course, I'm very proud of that. First chapter is as follows, just the gist of it, very, very quickly. How many people can you call at 2 a.m. in the morning and they will return the call? Tell them you're in trouble, have to see them right away, and they will come. Well, I've asked hundreds of people that question. Average is 3, 4, 5, 6 people. I'm very, very proud. And I know it sounds braggadocio, and I know it sounds self-serving, but I have about 50 friends that I could call. Why? Because I've been practicing this for approximately 50 years. So that's very, very important. Once again, those relationships have to go very deep. And lastly, let me just say the following, and I thank you because it was a great idea on your part. I do want to give back. I do want to contribute something to this worldwide audience. So very proud to be a part of. So whatever up here, the last 50, 60 years, I want to offer it to your people. It's free. It's gratis. There is no charge. And that is as follows. Again, very succinctly. That's all. I'd like them to listen, of course, very closely. I think this is an unusual opportunity. I started a round table several years ago, 19 men, 11 women, companies from $2 million to $300 million, and I mentored them professionally. Subjects, sales, marketing, entrepreneurship, negotiations, leadership, hiring, firing, creativity, time management, networking, on and on and on. A real MBA in the real world. Brought in worldwide speakers, Lou Holtz, of course, which is a very good friend of yours, as well as mine. John Maxwell, people, of course, certainly have heard of him on leadership. Ken Blanchard, 1 Minute Manager, just to name a few. I charged them $150,000 for 6 meetings the first year, 6 meetings the second year. $150,000 for that information. And I now have it at the Harvey Mackay Academy. And here's one of the beautiful things of all, believe it or not, it's transcribed. Hear Lou Holtz for 60 minutes, click on a button. 2 minutes later, you got 40 pages. The whole university, 150 hours, called the Harvey Mackay Academy, is all transcribed. So I'd like to do the following. And remember one other thing, crucial. You can not only use this yourself, you can give it to your spouse if you're married, you can give it to your employees, you can give it to your customers, you can give it to your friends. That's it, an MBA in the real world. So here's all you do. Really simple. Just go to Harvey Mackay, M-A-C-K-A-Y, might be at the bottom of the screen, harveymackayacademy.com/worry, W-O-R-R-E, /. Just repeat, harveymackayacademy.com/worry/. And use the promo code Worrie for 100% off. Worrie for 100% off. Unfortunately, only good for 48 hours, Eric, because of our worldwide audience. 48 hours, it's all you have to do. Happy to send it to you. Use it for life. It freshens up all the time, and I'm using all kinds of material. So when you click on, you will find first words. This is of course something that I wrote and I live by. I almost have a flashcard under my pillow, but as I love to say, biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. Thanks a million. Good luck to your audience. I love you.
Well, thank you, Harvey. I appreciate you, my friend. And remember, I told you coaching is a time machine. It's just an opportunity for you to be able to have wisdom and learn from people who've gone before you. He's got a lifetime of learning, and I did ask him and all the speakers that are involved today to give as much as they can, as much value as they can to this community. And I'm glad that he did that. I hope you take advantage of it. We have tens of thousands of people watching around the world live right now. I'm so privileged to be able to have this time with you, to spend this time with you. In our second hour, we're going to take a break in a moment, but in our second hour, you're going to hear, I'm going to give you some training on some skills. You're going to hear from Marina Worre. You're going to hear from Robert Kiyosaki. You're going to hear from Fraser Brooks on social media, and you're going to hear from Les Brown. But in the meantime, just like on the big time TV, we need to take a break. Let's take a break for 3 minutes, give you a chance to refresh yourselves. We'll be back in just 3 minutes. See you then. Welcome back. Let's get into a little bit of a training. And I talked to you about, I want to introduce you to Robert Kiyosaki in a moment, but changing your mind, deciding to become an entrepreneur, deciding to work from home, deciding to get some coaching, deciding to move ahead in your wisdom without moving ahead in your age. It's like the smartest advice I could give you is to try and get as smart as you can as fast as you can. You know, get the skills and all that stuff behind you as quickly as possible. But some of this mindset, before we switch into the skills piece, which I'm looking forward to, I want to introduce you to, I'm sure you've heard of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And oh, by the way, if you're watching this and you're having trouble, it's buffering, it's streaming, the internet speeds are different all over the world. This is, it's clean on this side, so either downgrade the quality of the video on your side, pick a setting that maybe is a little bit less HD or something, or refresh the page, and that should be able to take care of you, okay? So, doing our best. We've never had, I don't know, there's 80,000 people registered for this thing. I don't know exactly how many people are on, but we never had that many people on at one time, but we expect to do a lot more of this in the future. If you're enjoying it, I hope you are. Share it on social. Let people know what you're getting out of this. Share your notes with this, and we'll be able to pick up on that and then be able to build some more stuff in the future. But let me just start this second hour with the author of one of the most iconic entrepreneurship books in the world, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, not only are you guys here in peace, working together, learning together, then competing together, which is a higher form of intelligence, you're also teaching people to fish, you know, to become rich, to have an avenue. There's many different ways you can become rich, but this is the best way, because the only way you guys become rich is you gotta make other people rich. My father was the head of education, but the utter stupidity of education is they label some kids smart and other kids stupid. And I was tired of being labeled stupid. And what they do in school systems, you make a mistake, they punish you. Now, how stupid is that? I mean, you know, how does a child learn to walk? By standing up and falling down, standing up and falling down. If a school teacher was there, the kid would still be crawling. To get somebody to commit to doing what you guys do, what all you millionaires in the front row have done, and all you making 500,000 or more have done, there has to be not just a think mindset or a skill set, there's a spiritual shift. And your job is to get that spiritual shift. We are on the same team. We have a big job ahead. It's called peace and prosperity. We come together from different organizations to learn together, to learn in peace, to support each other. And what we as a world have to do is be role models for the rest of the world. I speak for us, because it's us that will change the world. The world has got to change, and we are that change.
Robert Kiyosaki, everybody, and I love what he talks about when it comes to entrepreneurship, and I also like the fact that we are the change that needs to happen in the world, and we now more than ever we need to reach out to people and let them know that there is a better way. And let's bomb into some skills. Let's talk about some skills that you need to master if you want to become a network marketing professional. Okay? Now, I'm going to list the 7, and I want to talk about each of the 7. Skill number 1 that you need to master is the ability to find prospects, the ability to find people that would get value from your product or your service, people who would get value from your opportunity. And a lot of people think that the job in network marketing is to sell products. It's to peddle products. That's not really the job. That's an outcome of the job. It's a result of the job. Some people think that the job is to recruit people, recruit, build a team. And that's not really the job either. The real job in network marketing is to educate people to the point that they understand what it is that you have. We're teachers. We're here to educate people on the value of our products with using word-of-mouth advertising. Educate them through maybe having them try the product out. Educate them through stories. Educate them in every possible way. We're also here to educate people on the value of building a business from home using network marketing as a model. Finding a company and a product that you believe in and growing a team of people who are sharing the product and sharing the opportunity, educating the rest of the world. So when you get this shift in your mind that really our goal is to educate people to the point that they understand what we have. Our goal is not to twist arms. Our goal is not to hard close somebody in. Our goal is to educate, because once they become educated, it's easy for them to make a decision. Most people say no without a full education, and that's a shame. And one thing I do have to say about the current crisis around the world, and this is a word of caution for everybody involved in the network marketing profession. Do not connect this virus and this epidemic to your product or your opportunity. Do not engage in predatory or misleading language when it comes to saying, oh, our product will support you in the middle of this crisis. Don't do that. And don't talk about, your job, you got laid off at your job, you better come look at this. You know what I mean? Don't use fear, don't use scare tactics, and don't use false language. Don't exaggerate, don't inflate what this is. Stay compliant with your messaging when it comes to your product or your opportunity, when it comes to your product or service, and stay compliant when it comes to your opportunity. Where network marketing gets in trouble, image-wise and regulatory-wise, is when it exaggerates the reality. People run around the world and say, oh, this is easy. Network marketers, is this easy or not easy? It's not easy. It's entrepreneurship. It's tough. You got to be tough. This is not easy. Oh, it's fast. Everybody's winning. It's not fast, right? You got to have a reasonable expectation when it comes to speed. Anything worthwhile takes time, and it is worth it, but it's not fast. You're not going to get rich quick overnight. I mean, it's going to take some time. Everybody doesn't win inside of network marketing. Matter of fact, a lot of people involved in network marketing are just tourists. They're not professionals. They never develop the skills. They talk to a couple people. They use the product. They come and they go. That's the truth. And you know what? The truth is enough. The truth is okay. So please don't exaggerate when it comes to any of these skills. We already win when it comes to reality. Don't put yourself or your company or the profession at risk in reputation or regulatory concerns by over-exaggerating and going crazy just because you're excited. Okay? Just because maybe you had a symptom that went away is not something that you can go make some medical claim. Please don't do it. Okay? Don't. And if you do, I hope the company takes action and causes you not to do that in the future, because it's irresponsible for all of us. All right, so skill number one, finding prospects, finding people to talk to. You have to master that skill. I didn't think that was a skill. I thought you either knew a lot of people or you didn't. You either had some influence or you didn't. But you know what I found out? Finding people is a skill. If you go talk to the top people in network marketing, what you'll find is 95% of the people that they enrolled in their company, they met after they enrolled in their company. So it wasn't who they knew prior, it's who they met after, because they developed a skill, and I'm going to talk to you about that skill, okay? Skill set number 2 is you need to invite people to take a look. Invite people to understand. Invite people to check it out. Invite people to learn more, right? Yeah. Invite people to open their minds. And when I first got involved in network marketing, I thought everybody would at least want to take a look. Nope. I found you have to be pretty skillful to get people to take a real look and have them understand. We're going to talk about that skill. Skill set number 3 is presenting. Once you've identified a person and you've invited them to take a look, how do you present this in a way that is effective, that works, but also duplicates? Really important skill set to develop. Skill set number 3. Skill set number 4 is follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. Following up with people over and over and over because people aren't going to be ready to make the decision in 1 minute or one exposure. They might need to get several exposures before they're finally ready to make a decision. So, and part of follow-up is also answering questions, overcoming objections. We're going to talk about that a little bit as well. Keeping the conversation going. The first steps are starting a conversation with people. Follow-up is keeping the conversation going. And over time, people have a better chance of becoming educated as to what it is that you have. Skill set number 5 is closing, helping people get started, helping people make a decision, helping people join. If you got a lot of people thinking about it, there's some skillful things that you can do in order to become great at this. Skill set number 6 is getting a new person started. Helping a brand new person, this is the duplication skill, helping a brand new person get off to a quick start and get some results. That's where you can start to have some duplication, people have some success, they build some confidence. And skill set number 7 is promoting events. Now, live events have been a big part of the network marketing experience for forever. Lifeblood, really important. And right now we can't do live events in person, face-to-face. But what are we able to do? We got tens of thousands of people around the world right now watching this. There's Zooms, there's FaceTime, there's Skype. You have the ability to continue to promote events. And the fastest growing companies inside of network marketing are promoting events online. They're doing their conventions online. They're doing Zoom calls and opportunity calls and training calls online. Make sure that you learn how to get more people to attend than the average person, because whoever gets the most people to attend an event like this, imagine if you had every single prospect that you ever thought about watching this broadcast. Would it be pretty easy to get them to at least take a look at network marketing? I think the answer is yes. Same skill in getting people to attend. If you apply yourself in developing the skill, this will really create a future for you, because you're going to have the ability to accelerate a person's belief and understanding. Events help that. All of these different people, the speakers that we have over these 3 hours, are designed and are brought to you to specifically help you build belief in you, okay? And in this profession, and in your product, your company, and your future. It's all designed for that, to equip you to be able to move forward, okay? So those are the 7 skills that you need to master. And I would tell you, you could decide you're going to master those skills in 7 years. You could decide that you're going to become competent in these skills in 7 months. You can decide that, hey, wouldn't it be cool to really bear down and develop these skills in 7 weeks? But by the end of this broadcast, in the 3rd hour, I'm going to show you something really cool that me and the team have put together. A deep dive to help you become competent and professional at these skills in 7 days. 7 skills in 7 days. We're going to talk to you about that in the next hour, but I'm excited about it. So what I'd like to do now is bring up my better half. She shares some good ideas with you. She's the founder of the most powerful women in network marketing. She's the CEO of Network Marketing Pro. Please welcome up Marina Worrie. Come on. Go get him.
Well, it's my honor and pleasure to be with you guys today. It's so awesome. And first of all, I want to congratulate all of you for dedicating this time for your personal growth, your personal development, because Eric and I understand more than ever before the importance of protecting your mind from the negative and feeding your mind with positive. And this is one of the reasons why we decided to bring you this event. So you can fill some amazing ideas and fill up your notebooks of some stuff that you can take out and put into action. So one of the things that I wanted to tell you is, I know that right now we live in unprecedented times, that it's really hard for a lot of people to cope, and they don't know what to do, because you probably know that Eric and I, we live in Las Vegas, and the majority of people in Las Vegas, majority of the businesses in Las Vegas is casinos, hotels, nightclubs, and all different entertainment businesses. And of course, all of them are shut down right now. So just the Vegas alone, we have over 50% of unemployment. So people are struggling, people are suffering. And what I want to encourage all of you to understand that, yes, we live in, even though it's a spring in the calendar, we're going through some tough winter times, and it's going to be over. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I know that after every winter, first of all, it's not going to be forever, but after winter, you know that spring is coming. And what your spring going to look like will depend on what you do during this winter time. So I think that right now is more than ever is so important to protect your mind from the negative information, because you can probably hear every time you turn on the news or TV or anything, the basic message is the sky is falling and we can all die tomorrow. But what I want to explain to everybody and encourage everybody is don't dedicate 24/7 to kind of like get all that negative information, but be very mindful and very protective of what you're putting in your mind. And yes, of course, you need to be educated. You need to understand what is happening in the world and get your news and information, but please don't spend your entire day doing it, because the anxiety level and the fears, not the emotions that we would like anybody to have at this time. So it's really important to protect your mind and at the same time feed your mind with the positive information. Now I actually have two news for you. One good news and one bad news. The good news, we're gonna win the war. We're gonna win the war with this invisible enemy. But the bad news, we have to fight the battle. And how we're gonna fight that battle will depend on like we all have different things that we can all do. First of all, I want to take this opportunity and say my deep gratitude and thanks to all the medical workers who are fighting this disease on the front lines, and all the fast responders and firefighters and the policemen and everybody who is helping and protecting us. And of course, all the scientists that are developing different cures and vaccines, all of those guys, you are our heroes, and we're absolutely grateful to all of you. But we all have the responsibility. I'm not a medical worker and I don't know how to create the cure, but I know that as leaders inside of our profession, we have the responsibility. We have the responsibility to come to all of your homes and help you and give you the message of hope, give you the message of encouragement, and teach you what you can do best during these challenging times. So I understand that the natural desire right now is to put your head in the sand and just, cross your fingers and hope all of this is going to be over sometime soon. But here's the thing. Inside of all the different challenging times, they're going to be winners and losers. And like I said, this winter is not going to last forever. And what you're going to have in that spring when it comes will depend what are you doing right now. So you just need to maybe take an inventory and see what are the skills that you would like to improve, and use this time to improve them. Maybe it's you would like to improve your relationship skills and just start building those relationships, and maybe just say hello to the people that you didn't talk to for a long time. Or maybe, like Eric mentioned, the 7 skills that will help you to become a professional inside of network marketing. Maybe those are the skills that you need to dedicate some of your time and learn them first of all, and then put them into the practice. Or maybe you just want to expand your vision and start creating great ideas and inspire your team on a much higher level. Or if you're already a great leader in your own right, but you would want to mastermind with your peers and see how all together as a profession we can do better on. I don't know what is it for you, because it's all different for different people, but I know one thing, that we can all grow and we can all become better. That's why Eric and I, we spend a lot of our time just feeding our mind and surrounding ourselves with big thinkers, with great doers, people who will push us out of our comfort zone, people who inspire us to do more. Because, when you live in the bubble of your own business or inside of one company, you think you're working so hard, you're doing so much. But then when you surround yourself with people who are thinking bigger, who are working harder and putting more out out there, you start thinking, it's like, maybe I can do a little bit more. So I think that inside of our business, network marketing, in my opinion, truly is an amazing, amazing profession. And inside of network marketing, we have the gift. And I feel right now it's our responsibility to share this gift with as many people as possible in the most professional way. Because like Eric said, one of the things that you need to be aware and be very careful of, don't overstate your product or your opportunity, because sometimes people think like, oh my gosh, I will go to all these people who lost their jobs and I'll tell them to join my business right now and they will be rich tomorrow. Well, you and I, we know the truth. They're not going to be rich tomorrow, and they will not be able to replace their income overnight. But you can show them how they can make $200, $300, $500 extra dollars right this moment. Because guess what? Right now, at this time, people are not looking to become millionaires. They're not looking to make 6- and 7-figure incomes. Right now, they're thinking about how they're going to pay that mortgage. Right now, they're thinking how I'm going to put the food to my table and feed my kids. So pay attention, and instead of kind of like acting as a hunter, lead with love. Because this is one of the questions that Eric and I did a lot of different Zooms in probably the last couple of weeks. We've been jumping on different teams and their lives and their Zooms and talking to them. And one of the biggest questions that we ask all the time is, how do you lead during this time? How do you not sound like you're trying to take advantage of people? And my answer to everybody is, lead with love, lead with care. Don't try to get people. Don't try to play that game, I gotcha, but actually show them that with your products and your opportunity, you can help them to winter this storm. You can help them, like I said, make that $200, $300 extra dollars that will help them to have a little break and bring the food to the table. But you have to do it in a very responsible way and not overstate or overpromise what this business can do for them. And if they decide that this is going to be something short term and they will do it right now just to kind of like survive this situation, that's perfectly fine. And if they decide to lock arms with you later and build it as a serious profession, then you can show them what it's going to take to become 6- and 7-figure earner, and explain that it's going to take time, it's going to take hard work. We're not growing magic beans inside of network marketing. It's business like any other business. And I think that our business can truly help during these challenging times. Like I said, with the help of your products or your opportunity. But on the other side, I think the sense of community is going to be a huge help to a lot of people. And in network marketing, we know how to do that. That's what we do. We build relationships with people. Because you and I, especially if you've been a serious networker and you've built your business from home for decades, right? It's something that we used to. That's what we do on a daily basis. But a lot of people having a hard time because they used to go to work, they used to sit in traffic, do their job, go back in traffic, go home and do their daily routine. Now they're kind of like living in an unknown territory. Even though they're staying in their own home and spending the time with their family, they're not used to this kind of a work environment. So we can help them and we can teach people how we do this and give them some tips and ideas. But more than anything, I think connecting with people right now is a big deal. And connecting them, like I said, with any specific desire to either sell them on something, on your product or your opportunity, but just with a pure desire to help. Just start asking them a question, how this situation is affecting their business, or how is that affecting their life or health, and how can you help? And like I said, if you lead with your heart, if you lead with no agenda, people will feel it. People know that people don't join companies or they don't join products. People join people. So if you're truly interested in helping them, they will sense it and they would want to be part of your community. I'm kind of, like I said, doing a lot of Zooms, and I learned from some of the different teams. They're doing a movie night together, you know. So I told them, it's like, instead of just inviting just your team, just your immediate distributors, invite everybody, invite your friends, invite your family, and do the movie night for everybody, because people are staying home, people are being alone, and this whole social distancing does not have to become social isolation. We can utilize different forms of technology and stay connected. So invite people to do either watch the movie or, you know, do something fun together. And right now in these times, because most of our kids are staying home, they're probably doing some online school, but in general, they're home and they're watching. Our kids are watching all the time. So first of all, as a parent, our job is to help our kids with our personal example and to show them, what do we do during these challenging times? How mama or daddy is acting, and how we step up into our true potential, and how we help other people to live a better life, and you know, with the hope and light moving forward. But on the other side, don't forget that we can learn from them too. Eric and I, we have 5 amazing kids, and just one, the youngest, he's at home, he's 14 years old. So I'm learning from him all the time. A couple nights ago, he ran away. He's like, okay, Mom, I'm done. I'm on my own, I need to do my thing. And I was like, well, what are you doing? And he told me that he's playing Monopoly with some of his friends online. So understanding, even though we all say that that generation is the generation that kind of like constantly does not communicate, they're not necessarily used to run around and play outside like you and I grew up, but they have the different ability to communicate. They find the way, even during these challenging times, to stay connected. So learn from your kids. What are the different apps? What are the different websites that you can use to stay connected with your friends, with your family, and just the people inside of your circle? Because like I said, I think that a lot of people will join network marketing for the sense of community, because we want to be part of something bigger. We want to be united with one mission. And in network marketing, I truly believe that we have the gift inside of your products or inside of your opportunity. But it's our job, it's our responsibility to share it in the most professional way. Remember, millions of people going to sleep at night praying for a solution, and you might just have one. And thank you so much.
Thanks, babe. All right. I want to add to this a bit and talk to you about a challenge that I gave some people this last week that I would recommend for you. And the challenge is a conversation challenge, okay? So I'm gonna give it to all of you, and I'm gonna let you pick one of 3 levels of this challenge, okay? There's a beginner level, there's an intermediate level, and then there's a superhero level. And here's all I want you to do. All business is conversation. We're going to start conversation. In the conversation, we're going to work to educate people to what it is that we have so they understand it, okay? That's our job. But step 1 of that job is to make a connection and start a conversation. So what I would like you to do is take your phone, every single person in your phone, start a conversation with them. How you doing? What's going on? What's going on with work? You homeschooling the kids? Everybody healthy? What's happening with your business? And just have a real conversation with a person. It could be text message, it could be phone, it could be social media, it could be any direct message, any different kind of platform is fine. Now, I want your intention to be connection, okay? Your intention to be connection, and through that connection, opportunities will arise where you'll be able to educate that person as to what it is you have. You'll be able to say, have you heard the news? My company is exploding because they help people work from home and earn from home. Our products are just incredible for families around the world. Have you heard? It's incredible. I can share it with you if you'd like. I can give you more information if you'd like. But so that conversation, don't even worry about what am I going to say. Just start a conversation. Say hello. Start with hello. How are you doing? Everybody healthy? What's going on? So the beginner challenge is start 100 conversations in the next 7 days. 100. With 100 different people, just say hello, start a conversation, keep the conversation going. Good things are going to happen. The intermediate challenge is 250. Start 250 conversations with 250 people in the next 7 days. It's about what? 35 a day? And the superhero challenge is 1,000 conversations in the next 7 days. Identify 1,000 people, start a conversation with 1,000 people, keep the conversation going with as many as humanly possible. Start so many conversations that if somebody doesn't get back to you, it doesn't bother you that much, okay? So I want you to pick one, 100, 250, or 1,000, write the one into your notes, circle it, make a commitment that you're gonna do it starting today for the next 7 days. If you're gonna do 1,000 in 7 days, that's about, what, 150 a day, something like that? Yeah, about 150 a day. Got to do 150 a day. So you can get to work. You're not doing anything anyway. Come on. You're sitting around, shoot the message, let people know. And I promise you this, good things are going to happen. You get any resistance, don't even worry about it. Just, connect with them on a personal level and be fine. But just reach out. And we're more connected to our families now than ever. I'm sure you are too. To our friends now than ever. I'm sure you are too. But expand that reach and at least create the opportunity to be able to share good news with people who really need good news. All right. Now, how many of you would like to learn a little bit about how to succeed using social media? One of my dear friends is a gentleman by the name of Fraser Brooks. And Fraser has become something of a global expert when it comes to social media for network marketing. So I couldn't think of anybody better to come onto this program and spend some time giving you 3 strategies you can do right now. Get your notebook ready. Get ready to take some notes on top of what you have already. And enjoy this training from Fraser Brooks. Fraser, hit it.
Hey everyone, Fraser Brooks here coming at you from Dubai in the UAE. I hope you guys are staying safe, I hope you guys are well, and I hope you guys are keeping your sanity during these crazy times. So before I kind of get into this, I'm going to be sharing with you some stuff about social media and 3 things that you can do, a script, a strategy, and a system that you can implement right now to take you from an action faker into an action taker. I want you to make social media a part of the process. Some of you guys know it's what it's all about. Some of you guys are watching this because you're thinking, what am I going to do? I have no idea how to use social media, and I now need to know it. You maybe have been stubborn to be using it before. Maybe you were having success without using it before, and you thought, what's the point? Now it's the time for you to go all in and use this. So before I do this, I want to give a massive shout out to Eric Worre and Marina Worre for actually creating this, and the rest of the Network Marketing Pro team. So if we can all give them a big round of applause, virtual round of applause, that would be absolutely amazing. The second thing I want to do is I want you to raise your attention and pay attention to what I'm about to share with you, because you literally can finish this summit, you can finish this online experience and go away, implement what I'm about to share with you, and get results fairly quickly. Now, we can't guarantee anything in network marketing, but what I can do is if you put the effort in, the results will come in time. All right? Now, if you want to accelerate those results, listen to absolutely everything Eric and Marina have to tell you. Why? It's no coincidence that the word pro is in the word promote, is in the word produce, and is in the word progress, because that's what they do every single day. These guys are the best in the world in the network marketing space to help you promote your product and service, to help you produce more volume and more leaders in your business, and help you progress in all aspects of your life. These guys are absolutely legendary, and for me, the word generic is Generation Eric. Because without Eric, I would not have been generic coach, speaker, and trainer around the world. So I'm grateful for you, Eric. Thank you. So here we go. What I want to do is I want you to get your left hand free and your right hand free. Don't have anything in it, otherwise this is going to be a little bit dangerous. So put your phone on the side, whatever it might be. Just listen to my voice or watch me right now. Because we are going to send a ripple. We're going to send a shockwave. We're going to send a crazy fireball of energy throughout the entire world from the network marketing professionals right now. So I want you to get your left hand like this. I want you to put your right hand like this. And I want you, after 3, I'm going to give you the countdown. 1, 2, 3, go. When I say go, I want you to clap as loud and as fast as you can 10 times in a row. If you're ready, say I'm ready, although I can't hear you. You can say it anyway. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, cool. So now I hope you feel a little bit more fired up. I hope your energy is high, and I hope you're ready for this. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. Don't forget that a short pencil is always better than a long memory. So here we go, here we go. So Eric reached out to me the other day and he said, like, hey, Fraser, would you be open to sharing a little segment on the GoPro World Tour online about social media and why people need to use it? I said, yeah, sure. So I hung up on the phone, and we hung up on the phone. We had finished our chat. I went onto a website, trends.google.com, and I made a search for work from home. Now, this website, you can see it on my screen here, this website will help you find the search volume of certain keywords and phrases that people search for online. I think it actually uses the US data. You can see here, before the coronavirus, before the troubling times, before all the uncertainty, it's all kind of flat. And then look at what happened. Bang, it shoots up. More people are looking for an alternative way to make income than ever before, right? So I did another search, work from home business, because a lot of people might search work from home jobs. Work from home business, same story. You know, bit choppy at the bottom and then bang, skyrockets. Skyrockets. In fact, it's one of the only things that's skyrocketing right now with home deliveries and a couple of other services. But network marketing and working from home is now just overnight become one of the most coveted, prestigious professions anyone can have. And you're going to see when the dust settles, I'm telling you now from experience, I've been around the industry my entire life, when the markets have uncertainty, when confidence is low, when people think they're going to be going to war or they're going to be losing their jobs, that's when people start to look. When the economy dips, network marketing thrives because people want their control back. Social media is the way how you can work from home. You turn it from a belly-to-belly business to a screen-to-screen business. My belly is here, your belly is there, there's a screen or a lens in between. That's all the difference is. Now, yes, social media, you are going to need to increase your activity levels by about 10 times, right? If you speak to one person offline, you're probably going to have to speak to 10 online. If you speak to 100 offline, you're probably going to speak to 1,000 online. But it's fast and it's easy. So how do we do it? So the first up, I've got a script for you. Now, I'm going to say the script out loud, but I'm also going to put it on my screen here. So feel free to screenshot this script and send it and share it with the rest of your team. Now, there's power in numbers, guys. The more of us who sends this, number one, the more energy we're going to get out there. Number two, the more love and appreciation we're going to get there. And number three, the more we're going to create this fear of missing out, because when someone receives a similar message from 2, 3, 4, 5 people in a row, they start thinking like, I'm missing out on something. Who's telling people to send these messages? I want to do it too. And you're going to understand when I'm saying this. Now, this is something that every single one of you can send, but not everyone's going to send it. Why? Because you're staying in your head. The more you think, the more you doubt. The more you doubt, the less you do. The less you do, the more you think. There's a cycle. The more you think, the more you doubt. The more you doubt, the less you do. The less you do, the more you think. The more you think, the more you doubt. The more you doubt, the less you do. The less you do, the more you think. It's a vicious cycle. That's why overthinkers don't achieve anything, because they get stuck in their head. So I want you to make sure, I want you to say to me out loud, write it in the comments if you're able to, I'm in, or all in, or let's go, or let's go pro, right? I want you to write something like that in the comments, because here we go. This is where you start to become an action taker and not an action faker. Getting caught in the scroll hole, becoming a scroll zombie. Don't be doing that. Let's be reaching out, because here's the thing, guys. Action marketing beats attraction marketing, right? Too many of you watching this thinking social media is all about people coming to you. No, you've still got to go out there and prospect people, right? Action marketing is faster than attraction marketing. The word action is in the word attraction. All right, so here's the script, okay? Here's the script. Hey, Mary, or Bob, don't call people who aren't Mary, Mary, please. Hey, Mary, hey, Marina, hey, Eric, hey, Bob. Hey, Mary, I know this might sound crazy as we don't know each other, but I'm on a mission to fill social media with love and eliminate fear. So wanted to reach out and see if you and your family are safe during and well in these troubling times. So I'll say it again. Again, you can screenshot it up there. Hey, Mary, I know this might sound crazy as we don't know each other, but I'm on a mission to fill social media with love and eliminate fear. So wanted to reach out and see if you and your family are safe and well in these troubling times. Now, I used this message. We tested this message before a couple of weeks ago with a group that I work with, and we found that the response that people were getting was insane. Thank you so much for that message. Isn't that so nice of you? Actually, my husband just found out he lost his job. It's a little bit stressful at the moment. Actually, I'm not really coping well with having to homeschool my kids. Like, you are getting people telling you their problems because they're not people. Right, listen to this one. People do not share on social media what decreases their status. They only share what increases their status. Hence why people only post the best photo of themselves on social media. Hence why they put filters on. Hence why they do all these crazy things, and they're craving attention, followers, and engagement. If you're going to court, you don't do a video going, hey everyone, just going to court. I hope I get away with it. I really hope I get away with it. Wish me luck. I'm so proud of myself for going to court. No, no one does that. No one does that. So we need to make sure that because people aren't going to go, oh, I've just lost my job. Anyone can help. Can anyone help me out? No, but they're going to tell you in conversations in the messenger. So send that script. Number 2 is a strategy. Oh, I'm really excited for this one. This is where we really turn up the love and really turn up the profession in network marketing. I'm going to share with you a post that you can do right now, or as soon as this GoPro World Tour finishes, where you can literally do this. Are you ready? I hope you're ready. I really hope you're ready. Because if we all do this, we are going to fill our feed with love and gratitude, and it will knock out all the fear and all the rubbish that's getting put out there. So here we go. I'm going to put it on my screen for you guys to be able to screenshot. I am grateful for blank. I am grateful for blank. What are you grateful for? Question mark. Now, some of you guys might have seen this on social media already because I did this a couple of weeks ago, but it just went absolutely nuts, and the response people were getting was insane. I am grateful for, my one is I am grateful for all my network marketing friends providing love and light to others in need. That's it. You could go, I am grateful for all my friends, for the time I'm spending with my friends and family during these times. What are you grateful for? I am grateful for my work from home income. What are you grateful for? I am grateful for my health. What are you grateful for? I am grateful for all the health professionals. What are you grateful for? People will come out of the woodwork and tell you what you are grateful for. You can then have a conversation with them in the messenger. Now, a lot of you guys are going to want to then promote your product and service. Now, I have no problem with you doing that, but you have to seek permission before you get a commission. So you have to say, hey, would you be open? Hey, I'm just curious. Would you be open to checking out some information on a game-changing product I use? No worries if not. I just thought I would ask. Hey, just curious. Would you be open to checking out some more information on a way to make money on social media? No worries if not. I just thought I would ask. Right? I've only got good at the language and what to say and use because of one guy, Worre. I read his books. I listen to what he says. I listen to his podcasts. I watch everything he does in the GoPro Academy. I go to his events. Everything that guy says and does will help you succeed. He puts the pro into promote. He puts the pro into produce. He puts the pro into helping you progress. He puts the pro into professional, obviously, too. So here we go. The system. The system. So we've got the script. We've got the strategy. Now we need the system. The system is something that I call FAM. That's find, add, message. I share this all over the world. I've shared it in tons of different countries now. And it's simple. It's how you grow your list and never run out of people to talk to. You find someone on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on TikTok, on MySpace. I don't even know. Everyone was friends with Tom at one point. But you find them, you add them, and then you don't pray to Mr. and Mrs. Universe, oh, please, Mr. and Mrs. Universe, please let Tom see my friend request and then send me a message saying, oh, please help me out. I see you're involved in network marketing. No. You find Tom, you add Tom, and then you message Tom the script that I've just sent you. Hey Tom, I know we don't know each other. This might be a little bit crazy, but I'm on a mission to fill social media with love and eliminate fear. So I wanted to reach out to see how you and your family are doing during these troubling times. That's it. Now here's the thing. What I want you to do right now is I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine the most beautiful dessert that you could possibly ever think. Maybe it's, I'm a big fan of fruitcake. Maybe it's a fruitcake. Maybe it's a chocolate cake. Maybe it's a cheesecake. Whatever it might be. You can even let me know in the comments once you've opened your eyes what your favorite cake is. And that is what you have to offer to people in network marketing. Your product is so delicious. Your company is so incredible. Your opportunity is so amazing. Just like this piece of cake that I've got in front of me right now. You put the fork or the spoon in it, and the goo, the melted chocolate drizzles down and forms a puddle in the middle of the plate. But you know what you guys are doing? You're picking your nose and wiping it in the chocolate cake and then handing it over to someone. No one wants the chocolate cake with a picked nose and a load of bogeys in it. Sorry for going there. If any of you are eating whilst watching this, I apologize. Why are you doing that? You've got something so special. So you find, add, message people, you ask permission to get a commission, and then you introduce them to your product, your service, or your opportunity. Do not put your business and your progress on pause. This is the best time ever for you to learn a new skill. Up-level your skills in network marketing. Congratulations to every single one of you for being here right now, tuning into this summit and this online experience that Eric and Marina and the rest of the Network Marketing Pro team have put together. Please do me a huge favor. Please listen to everything Eric and Marina have got to tell you and the other speakers, because they're here for one reason, and that reason is to help you get the progression that you deserve in your life. Perfection is impossible. Progression is possible for everyone. If I've been able to do it, you'll be able to do it. Eric and Marina are going to teach you how to do that too. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much. And with that being said, I hope you guys are well, safe, stay blessed, and keep your sanity out there. Go grow. You've got this. Let's do network marketing. Let's go and do network marketing profession proud. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Fraser Brooks, everybody. And I hope you took notes aggressively through that process. I hope that you were really kind of focused on capturing some of these ideas, because the key now is to be more focused on being busy than being perfect. You know, he gave you some ideas on what you can do to take some action right now. I gave you some ideas on what you can do on starting some conversations. We talked about the value of getting coaching and becoming wiser without getting older. We talked about the importance of developing some fundamental skills inside of our profession. I also got to tell you that your company and your team probably has a series of Zoom calls or Zoom events scheduled for the next week. My encouragement to you is to really focus on filling those Zoom experiences up. Even if they're team-oriented Zooms, invite your prospects to come check it out. You know what I would want to see if you were trying to recruit me? What I would want to see is show me behind the scenes. Show me a team call. Show me a company update. Show me the real thing, not just the fancy, glitzy outside. Show me what's really going on. Invite me onto a Zoom like this, or it's not a Zoom, but invite me onto a broadcast like this. Let me kick the tires of this network marketing thing. I mean, if some of you are prospects and checking this out, you're probably thinking a little different by now about network marketing than you have in the past, okay? When you've heard from these people so far, and just so you know, we've gone almost 2 hours. We still have to hear from Les Brown, Tony Robbins, and Pete Vargas. Still, there's a lot of training still coming, some incredible value from these incredible thought leaders. And with that, why don't we just go? I know Les Brown is ready to be able to chat with us right now. He is a global treasure. If you don't know about him, you should. And he's got a very important message for each and every one of you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Mr. Les Brown.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, I'm Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and I'm hungry to share a thought with you. We are in a crisis, and crisis in the Chinese language means danger, but it also means opportunity. A lot of people are running scared. They say that fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. And that's what network marketers do. See, there are always going to be challenges in life. My favorite book says, think it not strange that you're faced the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might. You will have tribulations. So let me share with you 3 things that I think would be of value to you today. Number 1, mental resolve. Listen to as many motivational messages as you possibly can. There's one I give online that's called Don't Stop, keep on moving. It's not over until you win. It's a speech I gave in the Georgia Dome. You just go online and see Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. I was scared out of my wits, but I rose to the occasion and gave the speech anyhow. And I don't even remember the speech. I was so scared. That's number one. So you want to inundate your mind with a lot of motivational messages and read at least 30 to 40 pages of something positive every day. And turn off the television. If the world blows up, somebody will tell you about it, okay? Let me share something with you. I was checking my blood pressure after watching Fox, and it went through the roof. I said, oh my God. People say garbage in, garbage out. No, garbage in, and it stays. So if you watch a lot of television, I'm telling you what I know. It will scare the wits out of you. I got so scared. My daughter, Ona, she came in the room to see me. She said, Dad, where are you? And I had crawled under the bed. I said, I'm under here. She said, what are you doing under here? I said, I'm hiding from Corona. She said, you have lost your mind. I said, I know, to the television. It's addictive. So don't watch things that's going to scare you out of your wits. Number two, my son has a saying, John Leslie, and it is, maximize your downtime. This is a time to review your goals. This is a time to look at what it is you want to do next and raise the bar on yourself. Engage in beginning to reinvent yourself, rethink your life, and develop a strategy that will allow you to grow through this time rather than just go through it. My daughter Ona said that gaps are from God. And so as we look at this time, that we have time to reflect on our lives, to deepen our relationships with family members and the people that we love, it's really a great opportunity to do that. We've never been in this place before. Do you hear me? I'm 75. I've never seen anything like this in my life. But we want to maximize our downtime, as John Leslie says. And the next thing that's very important, that is, you want to continue to create connections and communication, even though you're apart from the people that you're building a business with. This is a time to stay in relationship, to have conversations about just life in general. And I found some funny things on the internet that keeps me laughing. You got to laugh sometime, because this stuff that's going on right now, you can't make this stuff up. And so this is a time that you want to reach out and continue to maintain and to grow and develop your business with collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. This is no time to be in isolation. We need each other. This is a time to turn to each other rather than on each other. And here's the other thing. I want to give you a fourth bonus. Volunteer to help someone. I'm talking to you right now. I'm dealing with 4th-stage cancer. And I remember when Dr. Alfred Golson, the oncologist, said to me, Mr. Brown, you have 4th-stage cancer. I said, can you give me a second opinion? He said, yes, and you're ugly too. And then he said, you got this, man. You got this. Now, what did he do? He interrupted my thinking. How people live their lives is a result of the story they tell themselves. There are a lot of people who are saying, I can't deal with all of this. This is frightening. That's what psychologists call their self-explanatory style. You, as network marketing pros, are messengers of hope. When you speak, you bring people out of a dark place into the light. When you speak, you disrupt their thoughts about fear. It's a difference between having thoughts of faith in your heart or allowing the fear thoughts to possess you. And when you speak, you distract, dispute, and inspire. You distract them from their fearful thoughts and wanting to run and hide, and you inspire them to stand up and rise up during this time. Your voice is needed now. We have a vehicle that allows us to control our own personal economy and to build a legacy. You have something special. You have greatness in you. This has been Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
The best laugh in the world. Mr. Les Brown, thank you, Les, for sharing. Thanks for your wisdom. Thanks for your thoughts. Thanks for your body of work, because it's been amazing and continues to be amazing. I hope you're getting value from this. We're heading into the Power Hour, this final hour of the GoPro World Tour. Hope you have at least 5 pages of notes by now. If not, make sure that you start writing fast and get yourself caught up. Make sure you capture as much as you possibly can. In the next hour, you're going to get more training from me. You're going to hear from Tony Robbins, and you're going to hear from Pete Vargas on how to craft your story without being pushy in these challenging times. It's the most amazing hour we got lined up for you. The best is yet to come. We're going to be back in 3 minutes. Go get yourself refreshed, and we'll see you then. Welcome back, and let's head into our final hour of the GoPro World Tour. I hope you're getting value. I know for me, the only thing that I lack is your energy from being in the room, but when I travel around the world speaking to different audiences, it's always amazing to be able to look people in the eye. But I gotta tell you, I still feel the energy. I still feel the connection. I still feel the heart and soul of this community around the world. All of us coming together, all of us rising to the occasion, all of us deciding, you know what I mean, to really become a professional. As I talked about early here, I talked about, number one, the thing that you need to do is you need to decide decide that you're going to do this. Decide you're going to become a network marketing professional. Decide that you're not going to let distractions or fears or doubts get in the way. Regardless of the amount of support that you're enjoying right now, regardless of the circumstance you find yourself in, decide you're going to become a network marketing professional, because once you make that decision, what you'll realize is that nobody can stop you. Nobody can stop you. This is on you. You've got this, and you can do this. I really struggled in my network marketing experience. I struggled much more prior to my network marketing experience, but once I made the decision, success was coming at me like a freight train. It really was. So that's number one. Number two, the skills are the thing. You got to develop the skills as quickly as you can, as competently as you can. And here's why skills are important. If you develop the skills, it will build confidence. Have you ever had something you're confident in your life? It'll build confidence. And when you have confidence, do you take more action or less action? You take more action. So if you build the skills, you'll build your confidence. You build your confidence, you'll take more action. If you take more action, you're going to get better results. Good or bad doesn't matter, because if you get a bad result, it's going to help you develop a stronger skill, right? If you get a good result, it's going to reinforce that skill that you developed. So skills develop confidence. Confidence causes you to take action. Action is going to get you results, which is going to give you the feedback you need and the reinforcement you need to develop even further skills. And it's a virtuous cycle. Up and up and up you go. And if you're focusing on your upline, if you're focusing on your company to do this for you, if you're focusing on your downline to do this for you, if you're focusing on the outside world to take care of you, you know, it's not going to be the life that you imagined. But if you'll take charge of your skills, you get them done in a hurry. Once I made the decision to go pro, 3.5 years into my network marketing experience, I made the decision, I'm doing it. And 3.5 years after that, my income was $980,000 for that year. I was 29 years old. I went from struggle and pain to just absolutely committing to learn the skills. I got competent pretty quick, and I started developing some income. And then I became more and more professional as I went forward. I would encourage you, rip the Band-Aid off and get as highly skilled as you can, as quickly as you can. And we're going to give you some tools in order to be able to do that quickly a little bit later in this hour. So decide, number one, skills. Number two, number three is coaching. It's the biggest shortcut in the world. Your ability to get somebody who's already gone before, knows what it is that you want to learn, and helps you become smarter without becoming older. You know what I mean? Helps you shave off years off of your timeline. So it's my strongest advice. I started with it, I stay with it. And you need to really commit to it. And I'm going to give you 3 more things that I think all of you need to consider as we go into this final hour, and as you hear from Tony, as you hear from Pete, you make a decision to really step into professionalism for yourself. Network marketing can be a dream if you make a decision, you commit to skills, you get some coaching, get there quicker. It can be a nightmare if you just are too proud to take a step and to get uncomfortable in order to be able to get where you want to go. So first thing I would tell you is you need to think bigger. The world is not served by you playing small. You need to think bigger than you've ever given yourself permission to think before. You need to think bigger in terms of how many customers you're going to help this year. You need to think bigger as far as how many people you're going to personally recruit in your team this year. You need to think bigger about the rank advancement that's going to happen inside of your business. You need to think bigger about the number of people you're going to get to attend the online events and eventually face-to-face events. You need to think bigger about the rank advancement success inside of your organization. You need to think bigger when it comes to the market share that you're going to capture inside of your company. You got to think bigger. Give yourself permission to think bigger. There's a great book called The Magic of Thinking Big by Schwartz. You need to read that book because big thinking unlocks your imagination and it starts to attract the life that you want to live. Think bigger than you ever thought possible. Number 2, you need to be stronger now than ever. You need to be stronger than your circumstance. You need to be stronger than your fears. You need to be stronger than the distractions. You need to be stronger. Stronger than your upline, stronger than your company, stronger than your team, stronger than anything. Right now, leaders are born in these moments. And some of you have never even considered yourself to be a leader, but you're going to leave this crisis a leader because of the actions you're going to take. And I'm not saying you have to totally believe every part of it in your body, but you need to show the world your best version of yourself. You need to fill your organization with hope and belief and vision. You need to unlock their imagination. You need to be stronger than any possible thing that could get in your way. You got to be stronger now for your family, for yourself, for your team, for your company, for the world. The world is aching for leadership right now. Be the leader that the world needs. Okay? It's your turn. I don't care if you're a background, I don't care if you're a wallflower, I don't care if you're a behind the scenes person. Most leaders were, and they just decided somebody had to do it. And they stepped up. It's time for you to step up. And third, you need to move faster. Success loves speed. Faster. A lot of people wish that we would have been testing this thing on the virus faster. Would that have helped? Yes. What if we did social distancing faster? Would that have helped? Yes. Same thing's true with your business. Go fast, fast, fast. You want to take off with an airplane? You got to get some velocity. You got to give it 100% to get off the ground. Success loves speed. People need you now more than ever. People need to start a plan to be able to work from home now more than ever. People need the solution that you have now more than ever with your products and with your opportunity. So make up in numbers what you lack in skill. Decide to talk to more people than anybody else would. Decide to get to that rank faster. Decide to recruit those people faster. Decide to help people with your products faster. Decide to get more people onto your event faster. Do it today. Do it now. You need to think bigger. You need to be stronger. And you need to move faster. This is a call for all people inside of our profession to raise their game. The world is watching. Yes, we're growing, but we need to lead. People are looking for opportunity. We need to lead. So speaking of leadership, my friend Tony Robbins is unbelievable, truly unbelievable. I want to play a short clip from an event where he spoke at our GoPro Recruiting Mastery, and then he has a special message just for you today. Check it out.
I'm not interested in pumping somebody up or being inspired. I think those things are really important, don't get me wrong, but inspiration without strategy is worthless. And the fact that you're here and that you have all made the jump that most people in the masses will never make. You bet on yourself. You bet on yourself, you've got courage, you've got faith, you've got some determination, but more importantly, you're working to be a professional. You wouldn't have come here, traveled across the country or the world unless you were really committed to that. And it's what's missing from your industry and you know it. Of your business, the magnificent of your business is you're in a place where you can get into a business and you don't have to do all the parts of the business. You all know it, right? I'm sure you use the phrase, you know, in business for yourself but not by yourself. Someone else gets to figure out how to create the product and service, how to make sure the production line is running, make sure the accounting is occurring, all those things that wipe out most businesses. And most of you I know, I'm sure know, that most businesses fail. And you picked an industry, though, where you can get in for $100. And you and I both know this is a business. And you're going to have to run it as a business. Right now, most of you are business operators. You're good people, you're committed, you're driven, you're hungry, you care. How many of you got in this business because you really love the product or service and you want to change people's lives? How many are in that place? Say aye. Saw what Eric was doing, working to really make this where people see it as a profession, run it as a business, and that inspired me. That's why I came by as well. He's shown you what to do. The people around you have shown you what to do. The people in your organization that are incredible role models, they've all started, most of them with nothing, and really lived that dream of every entrepreneur. And you got a business that's actually, you've been smart. You don't have to do the whole business, so your chance of success is much greater, better than it would be in any other business. The reason we fail is because we give up too soon, because inside of our head we think we're not supposed to have these problems. Recruiting is the easiest thing in the world when you're in a great state. People come up to you. I'm offering you an easier way to build your business. And the easier way is to be just more real. And when people feel something like that that's authentic, that they want to be a part of. And I really believe that the biggest challenge for the industry you're in is there's so many people in such scarcity, they're trying so hard that they push people away. If you're pulled to a place like this, you're hungry. You have the most important ingredient to life. If you ask me, out of all the people I've met in life, what is the one character trait that guarantees lifelong success? If it's kept alive, it's hunger. If you can find a way to do more for others than anybody else around you, you will have the money. How many got some big dreams? Great.
Hey, network marketing pro community, it's Tony. Listen, guys, I've spent a few years visiting with you guys, and Eric told me he was doing this kind of digital program for you since everybody has to stay at home, and I just asked me if I'd just send you a quick message. So first of all, hello. I send you my love during these crazy times of uncertainty. I mean, we're in an unprecedented time right now, so I hope you're home with your family and you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of the people that you love, and I hope you're following all the rules that the government and medical professionals are sharing with you. But I just also want to put some things in perspective. We are not weak, we meaning humanity. We are not, this is not something you have to worry about, is it the end times, is it life or death? Because when things get crazy like this and social media goes crazy, people start putting out every story known to man, and I've seen more fear than I've seen in years. So I just want to reach out to you and call to you as a leader. Leaders don't follow the culture, they create their own. A leader doesn't let somebody just get in their head. They get in their own head and they direct themselves. And in times of uncertainty like this is like wintertime. I've always taught people, all my business owners, listen, you got to be made for winter. There's 4 seasons you could be born in. You can be born in winter. That's when nothing seems to work. It's cold and it's harsh and you're giving your all and it seems like there's no rewards. The beginning of any business feels like winter, but sometimes the economy is in winter too. And in this kind of time, we've got more of the psychology creating an economy that might be in winter. But the most successful people do well in winter. If you look at the Fortune 1000 and say, when were they born? Like winter, tough time. Spring, great thing about what follows winter is always spring. Winter's not forever. Good times are coming. They will come again, no matter how scary it seems. It always happens. After the night comes the daytime. You don't have to worry. If you were a guy, wouldn't you set it up that way? How cool is that? But look, after winter, there's spring, there's growth, there's opportunity. And you grow and you plant seeds. And then you get to the summertime where it's hot and kind of sweaty. And you're like, where's my reward? Where's my plant? And you just planted the seed. But if you make it through all 4 seasons, you'll get yourself to the fall, right? To where all of a sudden it's autumn and everything's beautiful colors and the fruits on the trees and your rewards are there. But if you don't plant in the springtime because you're lazy or you're tired or you're fearful, you're going to be weeping in the fall, not reaping in the fall. And so my mindset is, of all the 4 seasons you could be born into as a business, you look at the Fortune 1000, the most successful companies on earth, 65% of them were born in the wintertime, in a recession or a depression, right? Look at Disney, look at IBM, look at Chevron, look at Standard Oil. Look at Federal Express. Look at Whole Foods. All these, I could go on and on and on. Microsoft, Apple, all born in either recession or depression. And if you do well in that time, you will crush it everywhere else. And in network marketing, you need to have certainty to be able to touch other people. And right now, with all this disruption of people's employment and jobs and opportunities, this could be the best time of your entire life if you manage your own head. When I say manage your own head, my teacher Jim Rohn used to say, stand guard at the door of your mind every day. I said, what do you mean? I'll never forget, he said, Tony, it's like, think of it like it's coffee. He said, you don't want anything getting in your coffee. He said, what if your worst enemy drops like, sugar in your coffee? I'd say, well, then you have sweet sugar or sweet coffee. He goes, that's right. He said, what if your best friend or a family member by accident drops 1 drop of strychnine in your coffee? I go, you'd be dead. He goes, that's right. So watch your coffee because life is both sugar and strychnine. When you listen to the news all day long, it'll poison you. Become a leader. Great ideas are not going to interrupt you. They have to be pursued. So if you really want to do well during this time, you got to really feed your mind. That doesn't mean do that instead of working. It just means you need a portion of your day, 30, 45 minutes, where you're going to feed your mind. You're going to pursue great ideas. You're going to listen to an audio program or watch some video, something that's going to strengthen you instead of listening to the same story over and over again until you're hypnotized like everybody else into doing nothing and giving up. Leadership comes from having certainty. Certainty comes from feeding that mind, pursuing those ideas, looking for what can make the difference. So my message to you is during this time, even while you're still home, create momentum, start feeding your mind, strengthening it, designing your plans. So when the season changes, when springtime shows up, instead of being behind, you're ready to rock and roll. You're ready to crush it. Make sense? Good. Well, I hope I get to see you guys again sometime soon. And just remember, again, we're resilient. We can handle this. 650,000 people die every year of the flu. It's horrible, but they do every single year. We're not even scratching the surface of that with this coronavirus. In America, 35 to 80,000 people die of the flu every year. This year, U.S. News and World Report, if you're living in America, has an article. The title is this virus you should be afraid of. It's called Influenza A and B. It's normal flu. 36 million people have it. There have been 200,000 office visits, or hospital visits, I should say, in the last 3.5 months this year in the U.S. for the flu, the normal flu. We've had 22,000 people die in the last 3.5 months. That dwarfs anything coronavirus, and we've all made it through it. We're going to make it through this too. Feed your mind, strengthen, take massive action, create momentum, and make this the time that you're made for so you can serve other people, serve yourself, and serve your family. Till I see you again soon, live strong and live with passion.
My friend Tony Robbins. Hope you got value from that. Isn't it cool? I mean, I have to tell you something, just in between all of us, between you and me, I pinch myself. I literally pinch myself. Constantly. C- student, 18 jobs by the time I was 23 years old, found this network marketing profession, and I consider the people that have shared with you my friends, and they consider me their friends. It's just a humbling, amazing thing. And I will tell you, what happened for me can happen for you. And we have Pete Vargas coming up, and it's one of the ones I'm looking most forward to, because the question I'm getting now more than ever is, how do I approach people without feeling like I'm being insensitive, without feeling like it's inappropriate? How do I tell my story in a way that's effective without being pushy? And Pete is an expert at teaching you how to tell your story. So Pete's going to really guide you through that experience, and he's going to really train you on how to tell your story specifically. But before we do that, I want to share something with you. I tasked our team. I said, I want you to get as creative as you possibly can to see how much value we can bring to the network marketing community. And I want you to pull out all the stops. I want you to go as crazy as you can. And one idea was doing this GoPro World Tour online. But another idea was to help you, coach you, and help you develop the skills that you need and the mindset you need in order to be able to succeed. And to be able to deliver it to you in a way that you can do it from home, and to make it as inexpensive as we possibly could make it. So we've done something that is only going to be available for the next 48 hours. It's outrageously packed with value, and it contains several pieces. The first piece is a program that I have called GoPro Academy. GoPro Academy is $300 for the year, And for $300, you get access to every single course I've ever produced. All the events, all the event replays, all the courses, whether it's First Steps or Insanity Boot Camp or Time Management, Social Media, Unstoppable Confidence, Limitless, Radical Duplication, Inviting, you name it. I got all the different workbooks up here. But there's something like, well, there's hundreds of hours of courses and content in there for you to be able to just go study at home. Now, normally people spend $50 a month, $600 a year in order to become a GoPro Academy member. I would like every single one of you to have a 1-year membership inside of GoPro Academy. And we're going to put it into this outrageous package that the team put together for you. So part 1 is GoPro Academy for 12 months. Okay, I'll tell you the price in a moment. I already told you what the value was, $600. And it's our most popular program that we have. Part 2 is I'm going to produce a 7-day deep dive boot camp, you and me, where I'm going to personally mentor you to become competent and profitable in 7 skills, the 7 fundamental skills, in 7 days. And I'm going to start that on April 15th. If you're watching this at some point in the future, we'll see when it starts for you. But I'm only doing this for this group right now. 7 skills in 7 days. Every day, I'm going to come into this studio and I'm going to train you, give you the best I've got on all 7 of these skills. And by the end of 7 days, instead of taking 7 weeks or 7 months or 7 years to get these skills figured out, get a base of competence, I'm going to help you get there in 7 days. Starting April 15th, finishing April 22nd. 1 skill a day for 7 straight days. Deep dive, throw you into the deep end of the pool. You're going to come out of the pool knowing how to swim. Okay? So that course we were planning on selling for $297. We will sell individually for people who want for $297. It starts April 15th, goes to April 22nd. You miss it, you miss it. Okay? So there's GoPro Academy, $600, all the courses for lifelong learning for the next 12 months, and 7 skills in 7 days, intensive boot camp with me. We're going to let you have both of those courses for $297. Or you can make 6 payments of $57 each. $57 a month, pay $57, start to access all this stuff immediately. If you need to make payments, everybody wants to be sensitive. So $297 for both, it's $1,000 worth of value, or 6 payments of $57. And I think there's a link on the page. Is there a link on the page? There's a link on the page if you're interested in doing that. Please take a step. If there's a better resource than this, I want you to take it, but there isn't a better resource than this. You're going to hear from Pete Vargas in a moment, but I want to tell you one bonus that we're going to put in that Fraser agreed to put in is, can you throw that up? Fraser's? Yep. He's going to add to this for the same $297 or 6 payments, the social media kickoff boot camp, okay? So he's got day 1, planning and goal setting, never run out of people to talk to, get more customers than ever before, become a top recruiter in 2020, and get your newest partners started fast. This is only for the people, this is a $300 value. It's only for the people who do the full pay, okay? But that's available also. And there's one more that I'm going to tell you after Pete, but our team wanted to make this the biggest no-brainer in the world. So, please consider that if you want to become a network marketing professional. I want to help you, and this is designed to be able to help you. But what I'd like to do now is go to Pete Vargas. Pete, are you there? I can't hear Pete. Can you say again?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you. How you doing, Pete?
Good, man. Hopefully I was customer 001 on that, man. That is a crazy offer.
Right?
And I hope I was number 1. So I want your team to tell me if I was number 1 or not.
All right. Well, Pete is an expert. Pete came into our next level mastermind for top level earners. He did an unbelievable job teaching them the importance of storytelling, the importance of being able to do it effectively instead of being all the kind of network marketing-y. And he also did a workshop for some of those people in Milwaukee with his partner Pat that they just raved about. So since this is the biggest, most asked question right now, how do you tell your story and how do you be effective today without being pushy and salesy and awkward? Pete, I'll let you take it from here. Go ahead and hit it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be here. You can hear me just fine, right?
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, everybody. Pete Vargas here. I'm so excited to be here with all of you guys, tens of thousands of people from across the world. And my goal right now for all of you is to help you understand how to communicate. How you communicate today looks different than even how you communicated 3 weeks ago. And I want to give you that framework today, whether you're on social, whether you're on a podcast, whether you're on a phone call, whether you're on your team meetings. I want to give you a framework today that I believe is going to help you serve and help a lot of people who need your help today. And I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to Eric and Marina for having me here today. I don't take it lightly, but thank you to the industry. I know you don't know me, but when I was 19 years old, 19 years old, I had to figure out how to pay for my college education. I was broke. I was walking around campus. I just had a really bad crisis happen in my life. And I had made it on college campus, but I didn't know how I was going to continue to sustain college campus. And I'm grateful because network marketing, multi-level marketing got me through college. It's the reason I got through college. I wouldn't have gotten through college without it. I believe it's one of the greatest industries that exists because it gives the average human being on this planet the opportunity to start a business without hundreds of thousands of dollars. But like Tony said in his interview there, for a few $100s. And so what I want to do today is I want to help you understand, and this is my give back to the industry, I want to help you understand how to communicate. What I'm about to teach you, it's the same thing that we showed Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins as we helped them build out their speaking team. It's the same thing that we shared with Grant Cardone and his team that made them license this content that I'm about to share with you. It's the same thing that we've shared with so many of the people that we work with, some of the biggest thought leaders on planet Earth, including Damon John, who was taking notes ferociously as we sat there and helped him understand how to communicate more powerfully. Those are all folks that we work with. And I'm excited to bring this to the tens of thousands of people today because I believe today, right now, is probably the greatest opportunity in the history of network marketing and multi-level marketing to be able to serve and help a lot of people. But you cannot do it the way that it's been done. Because I'm a part of the industry, I still continue to get recruited on occasion. And the conversation and the communication typically lives in one bucket. And there are 3 ways that you cannot communicate today. If you communicate in any of these 3 ways that I'm about to show you, it will actually do more damage than it does good. And so I want to help you understand how not to communicate with these 3 C's, but ultimately communicate with this C. And so what I want you to know is I shared this story with Eric and Marina, and what I shared with them is one of the things that we were able to do is Grant Cardone, we sat in Grant's office just like we got the chance to sit at Eric and Marina's house, and Grant's like, this content is amazing. Like, we want to license this. And so they licensed all of our digital resources and they licensed the workshop. And we were at the very first workshop. And I want you to see this because this is one of the deadly C's. I was at this workshop and there were about 30 people in the room, and me and the gentleman that Eric just talked about, Pat Quinn, said, all right, everybody go around and in 1 minute introduce yourself. You got 1 minute. And so everybody started going. And while people are going, I'm seeing how powerful of a communicator they are, because I'm going to give every one of you in the framework where in 3 minutes, you will have people asking you questions and wanting to know more about you and having you want to go deeper with them here in just a minute. But what happened in that day is people are going around, everybody's going around, and then one young lady gets up, and this is what she says. She said, what if I could show you an opportunity of how you could make more money and lose weight? And a lot of you right now are chuckling across the world because you're like, yeah, immediate red flag, immediate wall, immediate defense went up in that room. I didn't know it went up, but I felt it in myself. And I hadn't stopped anybody along any line thus far. I hadn't stopped anybody. And I stopped her. And I felt like I wanted to coach her. And I didn't want to embarrass her. And I said, I can't remember her name, but I said, young lady, are you in a network marketing company? Are you in a multi-level marketing company? And she said, yeah. How did you know? How did I not know? That is the way that the majority of people try to recruit me and recruit the world. And immediately a wall goes up, defense goes up, and red flags go up. And we began to reshape it and said, listen, I'm not. And then, by the way, I told her that. I said a red flag went up and a wall went up and the defense went up right away. 29 other extremely successful business owners in that room, all of a sudden, and I didn't know they were going to do this, raised their hand and said, yeah, me too. A wall went up for me too. I was like, no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I meant to do. My heart was to help coach her. So I said, guys, I want you to see the power of this framework that we're about to coach her in. And so I worked with her. Pat Quinn worked with her. I know you don't know Pat Quinn, but he's a part of our team. And a couple of hours later, we did a 90-minute masterclass with her and the people in the room. And then she came in front of stage later because everybody had to present their 2 to 3 minute talk. I think it was a 3-minute talk. And she started like this. She said, from the age of 5 years old until 12 years old, all I could remember was being bullied and abused for being a chunky little kid. And all my life, I tried to figure out all the things I could do to change that because it hurt bad. It really hurt. I remember when Billy did this to me when I was in second grade. I remember this story in 6th grade. I remember this story in 9th grade. And nothing worked. I was trying everything. And then she went on to continue to tell the story. And you could hear a pin drop in the room. And you felt goosebumps just like I have right now on my arm. You see, there are 3 deadly C's that I believe in the midst of what's going on in this C, meaning this crisis, that if you fall into these 3 C's, you might get some short-term wins, but it ain't going to be long-term success for you in the way that you communicate. So the 3 ways that I do not want any of you to communicate today, number 1 is what we corrected her on. And what was that? What was she doing? I call it the cheesy communication of network marketing. Eric knows this, Marina knows this. We're on a mission to stamp these 3 C's out, but especially the cheesy communication of network marketing. We are on a mission to stamp that out. So right now, it is not a time to be cheesy or be cheeseball or talk like that. And I think a lot of people who are part of this community, you've learned from Eric and Marina, so you understand that, but I want to reinforce that. It is not a time to start being cheesy in your communication. And by the way, good economy or bad economy, I want that to get rid of. So first C that we got to get rid of is that. The second C, and these all came to me. Right now, in this time and age, you feel like you can cut to the chase. That's the second C, cut to the chase. My neighbor lost their job. I've seen tons of people firing or having to lay off people, not fired, but lay off people. And all of a sudden they feel like now is the opportunity. I just got to cut to the chase because I want to help them. And you cut to the chase and a wall goes up immediately again. This imaginary wall that you can't see, she couldn't see, but everybody else in the room felt. And so it's not a time to just cut to the chase. We'll get there, but we can't cut to the chase. That's the second C in this economy that you might be tempted to do. Hey, laid off? Let's talk. No. Laid off? That's why you should have been working at home. No. Laid off, don't have a job, we can help. Like, let's be really cautious there. Let's be cautious there, because that's the second C that maybe gets a little bit of short term, but it ain't gonna have long term. And the third C, and this one is super important right now for you to understand. You cannot try to lead with the C, which is cash. Once again, you might be tempted to lead with, hey, cash, 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 cash. No. Do not lead with that C. So cheesy, I want no market. Cutting to the chase and cash might work in other markets, but it ain't gonna work today. And you're gonna turn more people off than you turn them on to what you're doing. And right now, you all have the power in your hand to literally shift what's happening in our world today. You have the power in your hand to help people rise up in the midst of chaos and crisis and fear if you communicate well, if you communicate powerfully. And so what is the C, Pete? Okay, I'm not gonna be cheesy. I gotta figure this out. I'm not just gonna cut to the chase. I'm not gonna lead with cash, meaning leading with the financial opportunity. What do you need to do, Pete? Well, let me first give you a little bit of a context of the story, because if you get this story, which was another crisis time just in our nation, which was America, but I know we have people from all across the world, you will understand the C in a very powerful way that you have to use in your communication. You see, what you don't know about me is I had a terrible, terrible relationship with my dad. Awful. Abusive dad growing up to me. My grandmother took me away from him when I was in 6th grade because of the things he was doing to me physically, mentally, emotionally, every which way. My grandmother took me away from him and said, you're never going back to live with your dad. Now you fast forward several years and I'm a youth pastor. I'm 23 years old. I'm bringing in these powerful speakers into my youth group. And one of those speakers that I decided to bring in, his daughter was the first girl killed at Columbine. Any of you remember that, 1999 Columbine? His daughter was the first girl killed at Columbine. And she died, and the month before she was killed, she wrote a paper called My Ethics, My Codes of Life. And she had 6 diaries. And in this paper and this ethics that she wrote for her 5th period English class, she said, I have this theory that if one person will go out of their way to show compassion, that it'll start a chain reaction of the same. People will never know how far a little kindness will go. Yeah, you might have caught into the C that I'm going to talk about here for a little bit, but what I want you to know about her is she stood for that in her paper, and her 6 diaries were her life's journey of how she lined up and she actually lived that message out. And so this man comes into my community, he speaks. I'm 23 years old. My dad hasn't said anything to me really about what he had done to me in the last 10 years. He's in this building. He's actually present. He's live. He's watching. I'm thinking maybe this will move my dad to take action and apologize. And at the end of the presentation, after that man, and this is very, very important, everybody, after that man said, hey, parents in the room, you have no idea how long your kids are going to be here or you're going to be on this earth with your kids. I want you to go tell your kids tonight how much you love them. And some of you need to go ask them for forgiveness for something that you've done to them. And literally that night, my dad went and wrote me a letter. He said, I'm sorry for the father I've been. Here, my son is having an impact on hundreds of kids' lives, and I can't have an impact on my only son's life. I'm asking you for a second chance to do things right. And he told me he loved me for the first time in over a decade. My wife and I were weeping and we were crying as we read this letter. He took the man up on his challenge and actually went out and did something about it, took action, because the man led with compassion. And he shared his daughter's story of compassion. And now, for the first time in my dad's life, after lots of people trying to recruit him, recruit him to make things right with me. Finally, the very first time somebody led with compassion, my dad heard it and he took action. If you want people to take action right now, you have to lead with compassion. You have to lead in this market with empathy. You cannot be driven by the cheesiness or the cut to the chase or the cash. You got to lead with compassion. That is what you got to do right now. And I want to share one more story about him. In 1999, our nation was scared. I don't know if Eric and Marina remember this, but we had a nation that was really scared because we had our first major school shooting. And I'm not comparing it to today, but I'm comparing what I'm about to say to today. Back then, everybody was talking and complaining and scared to death. Parents weren't sending their kids to school, and they were afraid. And everybody was pointing the finger and taking blame and blaming everybody else. And there's all this finger pointing. And this man chose not to finger point. He chose to make a decision to forgive the two boys who took his daughter's life. And he went and took this message out to compassion out into the world, which we helped him do. And literally, you fast forward several years and they became the biggest school program in schools across the world, taking this idea of compassion out to the world. Right now, the way that you've got to lead in recruiting more people into your business, because listen, they need in your business. Like, I hope that these next 6 months are the biggest 6 months in the history of this industry. Now, I also hope that the world shifts and changes, but I believe all of the seeds that you plant in the course of the next 6 or 9 months for the rest of this year, leading with compassion, will set you up to be so successful. So successful. Right now, you've got a pace with them before you lead them into your company. What is pace? You got a pace with empathy and compassion right now, because people want to hear that you understand how they're feeling. They want to understand and know that you know what it's like right now to walk in their shoes. And so I want to give you a couple of practical things that you can do before I wind this down and bring Eric back here in just a second. I want to give you a couple of things that you can do. And so we have this proprietary process called the Story Braid Framework. And I'm only going to talk about one piece of the framework, which is the heart. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the framework. I'm just going to talk about the opening heart. Like right now, if you can lock and center in on the hearts of humans and lead that heart, lead with compassion, be the one who communicates with compassion, and you win that heart, they will be in your business. They will be a distributor. They will be a customer, more likely a distributor in today's markets, really. But you got to understand how to communicate. And so it starts by winning their heart. Let me give you a few practical things of how you communicate with compassion to lead and win over their heart. The first thing you have to do right now in this market is communicate in a way that helps people understand that you know what they're going through. Not about your business opportunity, not about your product. Like, man, the world is hurting. They're losing jobs. They're losing their finances. Like, you've got to make sure they understand that they can find themselves in you. Like, that you can connect with their heart immediately. Like, connect with their heart immediately by making sure you're actually real and transparent and compassionate and communicating in a way that helps them understand that you know what they're feeling. People don't care how much you know. They want to know that you care. Maya Angelou has an incredible quote that I love around that. They'll forget what you said. They'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And if you feel cheesy, if you feel cutting to the chase, and if you feel cash driven, they will pick up on that, and the wall and red flag will go up in their subconscious. You want to break that wall down? I'm giving you the power And I'm trusting that you guys will do this in an authentic and sincere way, is you've got to first connect with their heart by them understanding that you know what it's like to be walking in their shoes. Whether you're putting out content on social, you're recruiting people to come to some of your conference calls, like the messaging has to be that. The second thing you want to do with this heart, the second thing you want to do is, now their guards are down a little bit because you've connected with them. People now are more open to having conversation, and they don't want to see that you're this extraordinary person driving this amazing car, living in this incredible house, debt-free, set for life, semi-retired. That's not the conversation that's going to happen now. They want to know that you're ordinary and that you've walked in their shoes before. And you've got to know what their shoes are right now. Listen to the market right now of where it's at. I'm asking people, how do you feel right now? Like, what is your biggest concerns? I'm asking our community that, and they're telling me. And as they tell you and you listen, those are the words that you've got to hear, because you've got to make sure that you relate, that you are ordinary, and that you've walked in their shoes before, that you've faced crisis before, that you've went through it before. And then, and only then, do they want to know that you're extraordinary and that you've gone somewhere that they want to go, but it was from some place of crisis or difficult times or hardship. Doesn't have to be a financial crisis. It could be a relational crisis. It could be a health crisis. It could be something that shifted it and turned it around. Once they know that you are ordinary, they then want to know that you've done something extraordinary, because that's ultimately where they want to be. But they don't want to be there until they know that you know what it's like to walk in their shoes today. Man, I hope you guys grasp that. I really hope that you get that, because that is an incredible piece. And so the second thing that you want to do in this opening heart is the ordinary and extraordinary. Make sure people understand that you've been walked through that, but you've gone somewhere that they want to go, because now that's going to open up the conversation with them beginning to ask you questions. And the third and final thing that you want to do just in this opening heart, I'm not even talking about the head, the hands, the heart. I just wanted to bring you one nugget around the opening heart. One nugget around the opening heart. The last thing that you want to do in these times is do a little digging and ask yourself, what is my why right now? What is my why? What is my why? Like, what is my why? And here's the criticalness to this. You want other people to find themselves in your why. And so my why is that I want to help our community get on 1 million stages by 2027. To share their messages and their stories with the world. And now I've even shifted a little bit to say, I want to help our community get on 1 million stages by 2027. And the number one stages that they're going to get on is our virtual and digital stages, because there is an abundance of them that they can do straight from their own home. And here's what happens is, if you can have an empathetic and compassionate why that you can have in conversations with people, they will find themselves in your why. If they find themselves in your why, they start asking the question, how do I work with you? How can you help me? What can we do? I need help. I want to be that extraordinary. They're not going to use the word extraordinary, but I want to move from that ordinary position you were in to go into the extraordinary. And I want to be one of those people in your why. That's the third thing that you want to do in this opening heart. When you begin to do those three things, the game shifts. The game shifts. People feel connected to. They feel out of isolation. They don't feel depressed. They don't feel anxious. They feel connected. They feel heard. They feel loved. And they've now come in and said, tell me more. I want to close with this story before I bring Eric back up. I told you that network marketing got me through college after a really hard hardship. But what I didn't tell you is that I played collegiate tennis, and my grandmother went and worked another job just to help get me through college because my parents didn't have the money to help me with college. My grandmother went and worked another job. I got a small little college scholarship. I got a little bit of a Pell Grant, and that's how I got through college. And I was playing collegiate tennis. And one day I'm going out to my car to go and drive to tennis practice. All my rackets are in there. My car's in the parking lot of my college campus, Midwestern State University in Wichita Falls, Texas. And I go and I find and look for my car, and I can't find my car. Well, what I come to find out is that my car had been repossessed. And it was the gift that my dad had given to me, but my dad wasn't able to afford the payments, and he didn't tell me that. My rackets were gone. My car was gone. I was in tears. I didn't know how I was going to make it now. Like, I had no transportation, no tennis rackets. I was already struggling to be on that college. I decided to go last minute because I had some friends really, really encourage me to do that. And then I ran into a lady in my church. And a lady in my church didn't get cheesy with me. A lady in my church didn't shortcut things or try to take a shortcut. A lady in my church didn't cut to the chase or lead with money. A lady in my church was compassionate, and she heard me. She actually gave me some money to be able to get food. And she supported me just helped me. Her and her family, her family became like an extension of my family. And they loved me. They didn't play the short game. And then one day she just told me about this incredible thing that she was a part of. And it was a no-brainer for me to ask her, tell me more about that. Because as Les Brown would say, I was hungry. And that was the very first network marketing company that I ever got in. And I can remember it. I can remember the second one and the third one. And I can remember what network marketing did to get me through college because of someone not being cheesy, someone not cutting to the chase, someone not talking about all of the cash stuff that I could get, but someone leading with compassion. You lead with compassion, industry. You lead with compassion. All of you walk around the world as you communicate that heart and you communicate to their heart. What you will begin to see is you will begin to see more distributors, more customers, more volume, more impact, and you will be responsible, a little piece of helping restore the world economy, the world's economy that's hurting right now. But it's industries like this that are going to change that. So, Eric, that's what I would say to everybody today, my man. I think it's an absolute no-brainer what they put out there, what you put out to the folks today. I'm not even in the industry, but I'm going to go learn some skills and some skill sets from you. And I appreciate you having me in front of everybody today.
Well, it's my great pleasure. Thanks for bringing value. And we talked about this earlier. I think storytelling is such an important thing. And you're usually a very high fee type of a consultant, trainer, coach when it comes to speaking. But I asked Pete if he would throw in something for people who made the decision, said, yes, I want to take advantage of this offer. For GoPro Academy, the 7 skills in 7 days, Fraser Brooks 5-day course, and tell people very briefly, because we're running out of time, tell them what you're throwing in for people who make that decision.
Yeah, so anybody that makes that decision today, what I'm going to do, anybody, is we're going to host a live masterclass. I told you about the young lady who we helped transform in 90 minutes. We're going to do the same type of live. Live. This is me right here. I'm here, really, really here. I can tell you the time. It's going to be live. And if you can't make the date live, you'll get the recording of it. But we're going to host a masterclass. Pat Quinn, who is literally the one behind some of the biggest names in the world. He's worked with Eric. He's worked with Marina, Damon John. I could go on, and myself are going to host a 90-minute masterclass. We're going to go deeper into storytelling, not just the opening heart of the framework, but the entire 4 parts of the framework. And then Eric, I made a decision because I've been so motivated today being here with you guys. We're going to do a 90-minute masterclass on that, being a great storyteller, being a great communicator. And then Eric, I'm going to show them the 11 digital stages right now in this market that they can begin to go then take that message out onto, sharing that message, and then watching a lot of people come into the world asking them, like, can you tell me more about what you do? So we're not just going to do the storytelling where they will never feel salesy, slimy, cheesy. They won't feel cheesy or cutting to the chase or cash driven, but people will feel connected and because of the compassion that they lead with. So we're going to do that for about 65, 70 minutes of that masterclass with templates, worksheets, and then I'm going to transfer into helping them understand how to get on digital stages so that they can increase the volume of people that are coming into their world. Me and Pat Quinn, both right now, $40,000 is what people invest in a day of our time. And whether it takes 90 minutes or an hour or 20.
Yeah. So let me just recap for everybody, and I appreciate it. But this whole thing, throw up the whole package, okay? Would you, please? Not this next one. Yeah, the 7 skills in 7 days. Everybody's going to have access to 7 skills in 7 days. I don't think they can see that on the screen. There we go. 7 skills in 7 days, plus 1 full year to GoPro Academy, plus for people who pay in full, the social media kickoff boot camp with Fraser Brooks, and how to tell your story and prospect without being pushy by Pete Vargas. All of that's included. Now, if you're on full screen, you need to minimize your screen in order to be able to see the link below. If you're on a regular screen, you need to scroll up to be able to see the link below. I highly encourage you to do that. If you want to share this link, because this is good for the next 48 hours, all of this for $297. For the next 48 hours, it's good. If you go to networkmarketingpro.com/7, networkmarketingpro.com/7, that will take care of you. Sorry, GoProWorldTour.com/7, GoProWorldTour.com/7. That's the link for people to be able to take advantage of. I hope you do for the next 48 hours. It's going to be amazing. The team really took the challenge seriously. They wanted to help as many people as humanly possible. To close out, there's a video I'd like to share with somebody. It's by an artist called Estelle that we used to create like a recap of our last GoPro Recruiting Mastery. And it reminds me of the emotional state of being together as a network marketing community. I'd like to share that with you, and then Marina and I will say goodbye. Pete, thank you so much. Check out Conqueror by Estelle, and we'll be back in 3 minutes.
Life is like a big merry-go-round. You're up and then down, going in circles, trying to get to where you are.
3 hours and 5 minutes together. I hope you enjoyed it. I know that we did. I want to thank all of our staff and the production team for putting all this together, scrambling in order to be able to connect with all of you. We miss you. Just watching that video makes us miss you face to face, but at least we can connect virtually. Tens of thousands of people by the time this was over, 87,000 people had registered for this thing live. So we're just blown away. We love you all very much. Any thoughts?
Thank you so much, guys, for joining in today. We miss you. Like Eric said, just watching that video is just we're missing all of you. You're our family, and we congratulate you for being here with us. And we love you so much. We miss you. And now is your turn to go out and change some lives with the gift that we have inside of our profession. Love you.
Go out there and help people. We'll see you next time. Take care.